Hello and good evening.
Yeah, big surprise what we're here again, right? Big
Yeah.
surprise.
It
Yeah, it's
seems that we show up here every Sunday. I don't know what that is. Sometimes it's on Mondays
yeah,
when I've got shit to do,
it,
but
you got another case of LOL hire fans. I mean, for real, for
yes.
real. I knew this was going to happen. I knew what happened with Hunter the Reckoning 5th edition. I knew that Hunter was a bad game on its own, where I didn't know about Hunter the Reckoning, the old game beforehand. But I was flipping through 5th edition. I was wondering, when am I ever going to play this? When am I ever going to have the incentive to play this? Because according to your sister game, Vampire the Masquerade has already been blown and everybody knows about the vampires already, so what's stopping, I don't know, an angry mob from grabbing a vampire and just letting him evaporate in the sun while he's day sleeping? But looking at Werewolf 5th edition, I came into this already liking the property that you're making a 5th edition of. And I tried to be fair, I tried to be a little bit impartial about it. After you said, oh, we're going to make this its own game, I looked at it and said, okay, maybe it's going to be its own thing. And I looked, it's not its own thing. You're just wearing the mask of a game that is far better, that you should be playing instead. And instead, what 5th edition is, it's a massive waste of time. And I have been looking at 5th edition. I've been keeping my eye on Twitter, Reddit, which is the only place where people really go to talk about tabletop games, but Kyle, you frown on me for doing this. I am an avid 4chan user. I've been checking that site out because
I don't
that's
actually.
the one place. That's the one place on social media where I can find actual intelligent conversations about tabletop games.
Look, Johnny, I have more beef with you using Reddit than I do with 4chan.
I go on it because that's become the mainstream site. Now that Twitter's dead, Reddit has become the site that everybody wants to go to.
Yeah,
And I
suppose
know
that's fair.
it's creepy, it's disgusting. I don't like using it. My account got banned. So I just have to I have to go in. I go in without signing in to look at all this stuff. But even the people that say they love this game and they're playing this game, it's not enough. If you are playing this game, you're keeping it all to yourself and you're doing absolutely nothing with it. I have been keeping an eye on 5th edition on Roll20. I frequently go into Roll20, I browse around, I look for games on Roll20, see who's playing what, and of course D&D 5e is always going to be the game that people play the most because it's the gateway drug of tabletop games. I have been looking over the course of a year, I've only ever seen one werewolf game, 5th edition, pop up on Roll20. I've only seen one. And given the terrible release schedule of Paradox Interactive, you have an entire team of 10 people. I made my own version of Werewolf. I made 3.5th edition. I released that. I did that in 8 months. You have a team of 10 people. It's been an entire year. Nothing related to Werewolf the Apocalypse has been released in gamebook form. Instead, you've made 2 visual novels that look like the assignments I did in college on Blackboard that play the exact same, look the same, and might as well be the same game under 2 different names. I'm calling it here, World of Darkness is dead. The intellectual property is dead. It's dead again. This is the 3rd time it's died. 3rd time? It died with Classic World of Darkness in 2004. It died with Chronicles of Darkness, which nobody ever cared about. And now it's dead again. So,
Yep.
Wonderful. We get to celebrate a little post-mortem.
Yes, this is the... Hello, Ed. This is the
This
Werewolf, the 5th edition.
Yeah.
What do you mean by it's dead? I mean, like people are playing it right now.
Nobody's playing this. Nobody's really supporting the release anymore. What Paradox is releasing next is they're releasing like a vampire sex book is what they're releasing next.
Well,
like
no, Dave, so we're not talking about World of Darkness as a whole because obviously we're here. We're saying...
Yeah, we're still here. We still have, 350-something people and counting still supporting this. And we've got a little homebrew community in our Discord server where, once again, JG120 is making a book about Minnesota. And, props to you for doing that.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly feel that World of Darkness, by this point, needs to be in the hands of the fans.
Yes.
That if this is going to get better, if we're going to make stuff, if we're going to continue existing as a fandom, we need to turn our backs on Paradox and we need to make this shit ourselves.
Yes. So
the same way that Dungeon Dudes have pretty much pull D&D away from Hasbro by releasing Dungeons of Dragonheim. And the same thing that's going on with the DC-20 project. If you have Hasbro as your owner, if you're owned by Hasbro, then I'm calling it here, you're hopeless. We've seen D&D slowly go down the shitter. We've seen this happen with World of Darkness. Everything that Hasbro touches turns into fucking poison. The only other tabletop game out there that isn't going through, I'm trying to put it the best way I can, egalitarianism over quality has been Warhammer 40k and Warhammer Fantasy. But I know that you're never going to get into that.
No,
so I'm going to have to play Warhammer all by myself.
Warhammer viciously gatekeeps itself. It does. I feel like it works to its advantage and disadvantage at the same time. That the lore is so dense and inescapable for Warhammer 40k. It's like you have to be into it, or else you're not going to get into it. I just didn't like the D100 system, but
you can kind of sort of gatekeep it, but at the same time you have the war game, which you haven't really played. We played like a bastardized version.
Yeah, we played the skirmish version, and I got my shit rocked.
Well, not even that. I didn't have the rule books in front of me because I don't have enough. I'm poor, all right. I don't have the money to spend $dollars every month on a new codex. I can't. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, please don't. I would be very concerned for your health and safety if you did.
But what I do have instead is that I bought some of the novels. Where I bought the omnibus of the Dark Angels, and I still haven't finished that book. You don't even need to get into Warhammer or the war game or for the tabletops, where they've killed the tabletop project because it just wasn't making enough money. But you can still get into it for just collecting the minis, or just reading the books, or even the amount of fan art or memes that are based around it. Because Emperor Text to Speech, they stopped making episodes. It wasn't about the copyright enforcement that they're not enforcing that rule. It's more that there was a bunch of stuff going on with that channel that put the future of that series in jeopardy, but I digress. We're not talking about that today. So there's other stuff you can get into a Warhammer about. With World of Darkness, it is entirely reliant on the tabletop because there are novels. The novels are good, but the novels have been out of print for years. And with some of these books were completely lost. I looked at Lore by Night. I don't think me and him will ever get along as people. But I do like his content. I think he makes good content. And he was talking about a bunch of out-of-print books that are finally back in circulation. The only way you could get your hands on those books was through piracy back in the day. And that was it. You just had to, take the content. But at the same time, you're looking at this and Drive-Thru RPG, you're sitting on all these books that are years and years old that are not in physical print anymore. You can only get them through a PDF. And the people that made these books and who wrote these books are no longer around, and the company that made them is no longer here. So,
well, there are some that are still in print, and there are some that will actually reprint them for you. Yes. I ordered the Werewolf 20th edition. I got the colored version, and it was actually imprinted. Some of them they will go out of the way to actually print and bind it for you. But
I want a copy of Clan Book Nuisha.
That's the. Here's the thing. Sometimes sometimes I'll get a notification that says, "Hey, there's a a new Nuisha book on sale." On Drive-Thru on RPGDriveThru.com or wherever it's called, and I'll go in and it's purchasable, but there's only a limited amount, which is weird. So sometimes they pop up and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. So if you want this old school content, you gotta go to people don't really that didn't really make the old content, and you just have to go through them. Because I can get a softcover book from you, and you're charging me $15 for a game where the people that originally made it, the original artists, the original writers, are getting none of the profit. Instead, it's going to Stephen Wyack, who made Mage the Ascension. But with the Mage book, it's going to the guy. But I don't want to put anything behind Onyx Path and Renegade Studios. I'm just going to go out and say that. The people I wanted to support were the original White Wolf team, because you made a game and you've made a narrative that I strongly believe in, that I love this property, and I wanted to see more of it. We've been playing this game for about 2 years now, and I'm still discovering new stuff.
There's a lot
And
to dig. That's part of the joy of the fact that it's been a studio that's been up and down, is that some of the stuff that could have been released during the upticks got pushed to the downticks where they couldn't afford to release it, and then they got buried, and then you got to look for it. It rewards those who dig, and I appreciate that about
yeah,
it.
yeah. And yeah, we could hit up Bill Bridges and we can hit up even Skimp and we can hit up Mark Rainhagen and just bring them out of wherever they're living and say, oh, what was it like when you worked on this project 30 years ago, 20 years ago? By this point, you've moved on with your life. You've got a family. You've got other gigs. Where I'm also thinking, I would love to see you guys make more stuff, but at the same time, I want to leave you guys alone and just let you live your life away from this
Yes.
instead of me dragging you back into something that you don't really have a part in anymore. So I'm in a spot where I'm just frustrated as a whole with World of Darkness because we started this channel, me, Colin, and Ryan, off the back of that frustration,
Yes.
where we were looking at the fandom of World of Darkness, we were looking at the official releases of World of Darkness, and we were frustrated with what we were seeing. We were frustrated with a fandom that was more of a political echo chamber than a fandom, and a of official releases that didn't reflect the soul of the product and just seemed to say virtuous, politically trendy stuff instead of telling an actual story. And
Well, that's
now we're
media as a
here,
whole
and
nowadays. Everybody wants to be up on their high horse because they think that just because you have an avenue to try and make the world a better place doesn't mean you need to fucking say anything about it. In all honesty, it reminds me of what Scarecrow said from The Wizard of Oz. There's a lot of people with no brains who do quite a bit of talking, and that's everybody in a position who feels as if they have the need to say something without having anything new, insightful, original, or just anything at all to say, except for things that have already been said. And at that point, what's the point?
as I believe so strongly in tabletop games because the longest lasting relationships I've made have been through this medium. I have never been able to find that with movies, sports, or video games. The people that I have sat down and done a tabletop game with, I've been friends with them for life. Where you brought me
Really?
into it, where you brought
Damn.
me into it, and the relationship that we have with Sean, Ham, Meepian, the relationship that we have with Ryan,
Yes.
that could not be possible if I met you through any other means.
Yeah.
Where,
Man, that's lucky.
yeah, because I was
Very,
able to open
very.
up to Sean in ways that I didn't think possible. And if we were just talking about a movie or a game, that wouldn't have been possible. Because me and him met when we were playing D&D, and that was a game that was supposed to be based around personal stakes. And because of how we interacted as characters, that led to us interacting as people, to the point where we were staying in a Discord call 2 hours after the game was done, just talking. And because of what we were able to talk about in the tabletop game, it broke down so many different barriers that would have been up otherwise.
Yeah.
And same with the server, because I feel like I can talk to everyone here man to man. I don't need any sort of vulnerability up. I don't need to hide behind another shield.
Yeah.
Where the people that joined this came here for 3.5 or came here for us. And Dan, Eden, I'm very thankful for both of you being here.
Yes,
When
indeed.
I actually get to talk to you as people instead of talking down to you as fans.
Not just that, just getting people involved. That's something that not a lot of channels, not just in tabletop, not just in YouTube, but YouTube in general, doesn't do that a lot anymore. They don't it's hard to manage it when there's like thousands and thousands of people watching. And that's kind of why I like the fact that we're on the smaller side as far as the channel goes. Yes, it is a niche topic, and that's going to happen, but that allows us the opportunity to really, just get into the trenches with the fans, and share the frustration, share the joy, share the things we love, the things we hate, and that's why we like having folks like Danston and Eden and Vic on the channel when we're recording the podcast, because it's important to get everybody's perspective on things, and that's what I feel like more people need to do.
It's kind of ironic, how the smaller a niche kind of interest in the community actually is, the easier it is to actually kind of get into and build a community. But when something is very, very popular, like say D&D, Magic the Gathering, it suddenly becomes more, I wouldn't say more gatekeepered or gatekeeped.
Your voice
But
is
like
smaller when there's so many other people chanting.
Mm-hmm.
sorry,
Where
my voice or like just like in general.
no,
In
the
general.
metaphor. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And it's communities like Cyberpunk where I'm able to have intelligent conversations, but with D&D, I can't have that anymore. Where it started off as a very niche community. You can blame Critical Role, or Critical Role was the best worst thing that could ever happen with D&D, because I've had a few experiences of D&D that I feel like I've wasted my time playing that game, and it's because of the players around me. It's not that the game itself is bad, but I've just encountered a few guys that come out the gate swinging, and I can't say anything to them. And it's because with tabletop games, we're all just a little socially inept. I mean, that's the reason why you play tabletops, because this is the nichest of games you can play. Um, and you encounter a few guys that, yeah, you've got a few good ideas, but you just don't know how to explain them. And I've had some huge blood arguments in the middle of sessions because of that. And I've never had that with World of Darkness besides the one time I tried running a vampire game and I had an outspoken racist join the game who
I mean,
brought the whole thing down.
you have to admit that like Vampire the Masquerade and like a lot of World of Darkness, like players, there are a lot of toxic players out there that can be racist or that can be like prejudiced or just downright autistic assholes that
Yes.
just want a power game or kill things or just are want to live out their power hungry fantasies to a very toxic like effect. But but like when you find the good players, they're like for like any other community, like you keep them close to as much as you can.
Right. Because D&D has become so safe and sanitized. It's a game where every race is good. There are no bad people. Even the demons and devils are supposed to be understood. And that's a fandom that I feel like I can't say anything without somebody trying to start a fight with me. Meanwhile, World of Darkness has characters who are tankies and neo-Nazis as player characters. And yet this is more civilized. I've been able to have more civilized discussion about World of Darkness than D&D.
Well, we all
The irony in
understand
that.
here that, it's a game and it's a story. And you can't have a story without stakes, without drama, without differences. And yeah, those differences are taken to the extreme in this case, but that's part of what makes it so damn interesting in the first place. Like, for
And
example,
escapism.
exactly.
And escapism, and not bringing stupid world politics into games and trying to use that to justify your creative like approach to making a game.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. This is my escape.
We're here to
I don't
have
want to bring
fun.
in like real. Exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk
Like-
about
like-
the game nobody have fun with. I've gotten comments on the original 5e video about people saying, "Oh, I have a game, I've been enjoying it," yet they don't actually list off what they enjoy about the game, and they don't want to talk about the game itself that they're running. They don't want to tell an anecdote. Kyle, whenever we bring up D&D or World of Darkness, you immediately want to go into an anecdote. You immediately want to start talking about whatever Colt or Freddy did in one of your games.
Yes.
And with 5e, I don't see that. I don't see anybody saying, "Oh, this is what we did in Werewolf 5th edition," or even Hunter 5th edition. Vampire 5th edition, even. Like, the good vampire stories I see are coming from V20.
Yeah. Like,
And everybody who wants to cheerlead and defend this game and apologize for it doesn't actually seem to play it. If you want to prove me wrong, you're going to have to show me the video link to your live play. You're going to have to show me the transcripts from your Roll20 game. You're going to have to show me pictures of your actual table. Because until you tell me that, until you come up to me and say, "I enjoyed 5th edition," I don't believe you.
yeah.
I'm going to be straight with you. I don't believe you're actually playing this game.
You could say,
'Cause,
like,
yeah.
I like 5th edition, but without saying, hey, we did this using 5th edition's rules, and this made it so much better, then how are we supposed to know? Like, as much as we want to take your word for it, we're not getting a whole lot of concrete evidence to suggest otherwise. Like, on our channel, you can see New York front to back. You can see, well, our Appalachia game in progress. You could see our Russia game that just started last week. We got a lot of stake to say. We've been playing Werewolf 2nd edition and Werewolf 3.5, which we've made, and we're having fun because you could see it.
Mm-hmm. Along with that, we've got people coming in here saying, giving me my honest feedback. Where, yeah, there were a few things I had wrong with the summon Vion because I got the ninth avatar of Vishnu wrong. I thought it was Krishna, no, it was Kalki who's supposed to be the ninth avatar. I had that wrong, and I got told I was wrong. And thank you for caring enough about what I made to tell me that. Thank you for doing that.
Exactly.
Along with a few issues I had where I got told I made the Burning Crown, I made them too strong. I made them too strong on a purpose because when have you ever heard of anybody playing the Silver Fang? Yeah, I had to give you a carrot on a stick to have you play as a Silver Fangs, given how terrible they are as people.
Well, I mean, we said during the Silver Fang video that Silver Fangs were supposed to be hard mode characters. But then again,
you're not playing the Tremere and the Zenitsu because they're good people. You're playing them because you want thaumaturgy and vicissitude. There are no good people in the Tremere, the Zenitsu, or the Silver Fangs. Therefore, it's the power and the mechanics that drove you to playing as those people.
Yeah, and now with now half of the Silver Fangs either trying to, redeem what they are, renounce what they are, or have a reaction to what people accuse them of being. You've got a lot more drama in the Silver Fangs now as the Burning Crown.
Mm-hmm.
So in a narrative perspective, you've more reason to play them now.
Along with how we did willpower and damage rolls, where every hit you take matters. How important it is to have the dodge stat, how important it is to have stamina. Because if you don't have that, you will die in one shot. Playing 3.5.
Yes.
Well, with 5th edition, I'm looking at the combat here. It looks like you still haven't learned how to make combat. But you surrendered when you wrote Vampire 5th edition. Because there were just no combat rules at all. You just flat out threw this in the player's lap and said, figure this out on your own. Do you know how hard it is to storytell? It's not, but that's a lot of work they have to do regardless. People are thrown off the idea of storytelling because of the amount of work you put into it, not because it's difficult in of itself, but because of the hours you log. Kyle, you've been logging your hours. You've been spending entire days making Appalachia.
Yes.
And over the course of a week, I put everything I had into making Ridge Across Russia. I made all that stuff in advance, and I'm still I'm still getting maps. I'm still making tokens for it. If you're going to dump an entire combat system in my lap and tell me I have to figure it out for myself, well, how about go fuck yourself, Renegade? Dog, I got enough shit to worry about.
Yeah,
enough shit to worry about. I don't need to figure out your entire system for you. Same with Hunter the Reckoning, where you just once again gave up and said, "Here's some weapons. Here's the amount of successes you need to shoot them. Here's the damage they deal." Okay, cool. If I have an automatic weapon, how am I supposed to use that? I get no answer. Same with the rules in Werewolf 5th edition, where you still haven't figured out how the fuck combat's supposed to work. With Werewolf, you are playing the 9-foot-tall murder machine in Crossform. Combat is central to the game. This is not a game where you want to half-ass the rules of combat on. So, yeah, something we didn't really talk about the first time we talked about 5th edition were the mechanics themselves. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about the fucking mechanics. Let's go ahead. Let's do it.
It is Mechanics O'Clock. What page do you need me on?
Yeah, let me take a look at this. Let's go. The tribes don't matter, dude. The tribes all play the same.
Even though they took my fucking Fianna from me, and I'm still mad about that.
Everyone, okay, being Irish is racist, apparently.
Sure.
And then we now have a finger to point at when it came to the
they talked to no Irishmen. They consulted no Irishmen when they actually made that claim.
And we now have a finger to point at with the removal of the Ectena and the Wendigo. It was fucking Kareem Muammar, who has no business talking about what I should and shouldn't be able to play as when it comes to races. Because here's the funny thing about Werewolf 5th edition here. With you removing all these different with the tribes of the Ectena and the Wendigo, removing them, and really downplaying the Asian or oriented aspects of the Stargazers, you've made an entire faction, the werewolves, that is entirely Eurocentric. Tell me who's the racist here.
Exactly.
Tell me who's the racist. Tell me who's the racist. You want to talk about the Gav Famers being this group of fascists and race supremacists when every fucking tribe you made is based around being white and being European. That's what you fucking made.
Yeah. It's like the Land O'Lakes butter. Oh, the representation was offensive, so remove the representation.
You've got a few characters here and there that you AI generated or sketched over, all the artwork in this book is fake. You didn't actually put any manpower into this.
Like quite
And
literally. Good.
You've got the occasional guy that you're just using to say, "Oh, we've got one black glasswalker. We're not racist." Yeah, you just use that as a shield at the end of the day. When no, look at the fucking culture they have. Look at that.
Yeah, like for
And
example,
the thing is,
what's up?
what, you were
They're
saying
so
that?
lazy. No, they're so lazy that whenever they updated the book, they just used Windows renaming or just puts in parentheses an extra number.
They really did.
Clippy decided
Yeah,
to show
they
up.
did.
I see you're trying to write a werewolf book.
But here's the thing with the Geth Fenris. With them being this entire tribe in 5th edition that is obsessed with fighting the worm, I looked through the other descriptions of your tribe, and they're all so wrapped up with political bullshit or economic bullshit, none of them are actually getting involved in environmentalism. The Geta Fenris are the only group. So the group that you said was problematic and you removed from the game and made these strawman villains are the only people fighting the worm? Is this the story you want to tell? Where every playable tribe just pisses away their time and the supposed bad guys are actually the good guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading it right
Hold on
now.
to that.
It's on page 2. It's on page 279. The cult of Fenris wants to fight the worm, but its Garrow see the presence of the worm in all things. Yeah. As a result, they effectively seek their own version of Valhalla. Gaia is under a doom, and all anyone can do is fight while infinitely screaming her name until they fall. Yeah, it's the fucking Geta Fenris.
And that's the whole thing with the Guru tribes, because it wasn't just the Fenris who thought of this, it was also the Fianna, it was also the Black Furies, it was also the Bonars, it was also the Red Talons. They all had stake in saving Gaia. In this book, the Geta Fenris are the only group who have a stake in saving Gaia. And for a book that said humans can just spontaneously fall to the worm and humanity is the tool of the worm, then behold, you just made the Geta Fenris the good guys.
Yeah.
So hold on.
Good.
Here's the thing. So this is not me reading the book. This is actually what I've heard from other podcasts and reviews in the book. But
Yes.
supposedly, Gaia is already dead. So you can't exactly fight for Gaia if Gaia is already dead. That's the kind of thing. So what's the purpose?
Avenging Gaia, getting revenge on the worm for taking Gaia away from you. The planet's dead. You're going to make the worm pay for destroying the world. If this is what this is what chaps my ass about 5th edition too. The whole nihilistic aspect of it. There were bleak stakes. The world of darkness is bleak, but you had some hope in the original book. The Children of Gaia, the Silver Fangs, the Shadow Lords all had their own little personal stakes in politics, but you could still fight and save the world. Gaia wasn't dead, she was dormant. Her voice was last heard in the 1950s. There was the possibility of it coming back. And it does come back kind of sort of in Gehenna when Enoia fused with the planet. Here, everything you're fighting for is already gone. So, behold, what's the point of playing this game if the worm has already won? And everything you do in this game amounts to jack shit.
Yeah, but the whole idea of Werewolf was to persist despite your world being doomed. And in the 5th edition, the Geta Fenris seems like the only ones who feel like doing that.
And why are you trying to say in this game that trying to preserve the environment and trying to preserve the climate are futile efforts, so just give up and stop trying to make the world a better place? Just give up.
I do remember one of the comments in the original 5e video is like, yeah, this is a wormish company. They're trying to pollute our tabletop game.
Trying to convince us that there is no point in doing any of this. Where, I don't know, maybe base your game in China or the Philippines where there is a massive ass pollution problem, and they're trying to stop that.
There you go.
Oh, but we can't have that. The CCP saw the first draft and they're like, nope, you got to change that. Nope.
We can't actually hold anybody accountable for actions anymore. It's 2024.
It's what happened with Red Dawn's remake.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
when they made North Korea the bad guys.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that movie was dumb as shit.
Yep,
yeah, you have enough manpower to do that.
It's because the CCP doesn't just look at the company that does it. They go all the way up to the leadership or the final holding company of the entire thing. Then they go down to all the subsidiaries of all the companies owned by that singular umbrella corp.
Hey,
What was it
China,
that-
don't you have any like buildings that are kind of falling apart? Wasn't there a bridge that actually fell apart that you should worry about? Maybe
entire
just so much-
cities that have no people living in them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, they did that on purpose.
That
Tofu
one
dredge.
video of Xi Jing of John Cena in the back of that car with the ice cream cone saying that Taiwan wasn't a country because he had to do this big apology about saying Taiwan was a country because it is, and it's because China fucking called Warner Media and said, "We will ban Suicide Squad in every theater in China if you don't have John Cena fly to China today to do this apology."
Oh, not only that, they were going to ban all the related projects to Warner Brothers, their games, their books,
Well,
their
it's not like
DVD
anybody's.
sales.
It's not like anybody's watching the movies or playing the games anyway. in
Yeah,
America.
pretty much. That's the thing about it. You can't sell out to tyrants because then it'll alienate all the people that hate tyrants.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
bowing
that
down
there's
to
actually
apologizing to a
still.
sta-
I'm surprised
bowing
there's
down
actually
apologizing
still
to
like
a
a
state that's
like an audience
doing a
for
fucking-
like these movies.
Yeah.
they're doing a genocide of the Uyghur people in China right now. You're supporting a government that's causing a literal fucking ethnic cleansing.
Multiple.
Yeah.
If you aren't a Han, you're facing some form of ethnic cleansing or near ethnic cleansing.
Exactly.
All right, sorry.
I fucking hate that.
Back on
Fucking hate the
track with
Uyghur.
Werewolf. We got
Yeah, so you got all these little skills here where you look at the skill specialties on 89 and you get this like vague ass statement as to what these are all supposed to mean. When dog, you look at the old World Darkness Werewolf book, you got detailed descriptions as to what you could do with athletics. You got detailed descriptions with brawl. You were told with your strength attribute just how much you could lift in pounds and kilograms. And you just get these vague descriptions that don't say anything, don't mean anything. Nothing in 5th edition means anything. If you look at academics, awareness, finance, what's the point of me having this at the end of the day Here, let's use politics for an example. Level 1, you follow human politic affairs in your region and know the lay of the land. 5th level, you either acknowledged now as an eminence. What the fuck is this diction you're using?
hang on, let me
The
see.
real movers and shakers. So every dot in politics boils down to you're involved in politics. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if I have 1 dot. It doesn't matter if I have 5 dots because the way you've described this, it all boils down to the same damn thing.
Yeah, it is kind of dumb. Like
Where-
the whole thing is just like, oh, you can do this, you could do this, you could do this. Not like let me pull up the 3.5 book just for comparison. Let me get us a side by side on this so we can see like what all
I'll
the
have to throw on
I'm
for a minute.
currently trying to find the rules for combat, and the rules
There
for
are no
combat-
rules.
there
combat.
aren't any. There are not any. Let me pull up these up side by
Jesus
side and show our attributes alongside.
It said, "Fuck you." We want this to be a furry simulator instead of an actual game.
Yeah, so let me find where the hell we put that. Oh wait, no,
You
that's
don't have to
for-
wait
If you
for
want
the-
to play, you
Do I
want
have
to
to
play the
wait for
furry
the other
simulator.
book
You play
to come out?
Changeling.
Do you have
Oh
to
wait,
wait
no,
for
it's
the
gonna
other
be
book
the
to
it's
come
gonna
out
be
in
the
order for it
player's
to
guide,
be
not
like
the
a-
code.
There will never
edition.
be another book. This is the only book that's going to ever be made. They're not making any other werewolf books. They're making a
Probably.
vampire sex book.
That's
I guess
probably
they're gonna use the. I guess we have to use the combat system for Werewolf 5th edition. I don't know.
yeah. Let me just
There's no
scroll back
fucking-
up over here and show us where we got all of our starting folk. Like even in backgrounds we have that, but politics, for example. Just compare them side by side for us. 1 Pip, character understands the political landscape of their country, has attended town hall and made excellent points about their community, is a pundit with influence in the state or region, could run for office and get a job, a character ought to be the president. Look, compared to you're either acknowledged now as an eminence, Greece, or will be someday. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. This politics that we wrote in 3.5, you are good enough at understanding how a country should run that you should goddamn be in charge. That is
Level
politics.
5
right
in politics. I looked in a dictionary. I pulled up a pseudonym, and this is what I got.
there. Yes.
I'm fucking same with the advantages and merits, because I hate the way that 5e has set up merits and advantages. Where instead of it being multiple attributes that you put different points into, instead it's just a flat level where it just comes with a flat score. Where Karen access, 1 point. Awaken Karen, 5 points. The cost difference. What the fuck?
Hang on. Awakened Karen.
You are part of the set warning a character has already been awakened for some degree. Like, are you talking about like moon bridges? Is that what the fuck you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about? As in,
Yeah.
I have to put points into my background just for a Karen to have the stuff a Karen is supposed to have?
Exactly. A cairn is
Is that what that
supposed to
is?
be a holy site where you can restore your health and gnosis, where you can prepare
Shouldn't this already be in here at the start of the game?
Exactly. It really should.
Yes.
Like, I understand Gaia is dead, but for fuck's sake, the Garo are still there. There should still be cairns.
Yeah,
Do
same
they
thing with
go
Safe
over
House. We
what-
had a background in that already. It was called security in past editions. You put 1 to 5 pips in it. It decided how much stuff you had securing your house. It wasn't a flat 2 score where I'm just stuck whatever 2 points gives me.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Dan, for example, you are in my Hunter game. You made a character that mid-maxed the hell into medicine. And you not only that, but you took security as a background. So with the way you built your character, you
It
are
was
a
a skill,
surgeon
actually.
who's doing an entire one-man job in what's essentially a surgical compound. And if we were doing Hunter 5e, if we are doing anything with 5e, you couldn't build that because of just how vague and nonsensical these descriptions are.
Well, it was actually wasn't a background. It was actually a skill that's in the dots.
It was a skill. Thank you for reminding me of that. It was a skill. Regardless.
But yeah, regardless, yeah, like it's meant to actually show like how much security you actually have in a haven, and that there actually is something like that for like for a werewolf for your havens in terms of like a security, but like where are you saying that that's not present in like the werewolf book?
Yeah, same thing, because I'm looking at page 104 and 105 with the resources background. You got a flat number with the amount of money that you had in liquidated assets and how much you had in solid assets. You had set numbers with that shit, along with how much money that you would get every week. You get paycheck to paycheck, middle class, upper class, wealthy, ultra rich. Give me a number. Give me a number. What number is ultra rich? Give me a number, dude. Why am I a billionaire? Am I the billionaire werewolf so I can just solve all my problems by throwing money at it? Is that what ultra rich is supposed to mean? Or is ultra rich by your definition, say $500,000 in assets, and that's it? Is that how you define ultra rich?
I guess they had big plans to have this game be timeless so that it can be adjusted for inflation because
it just came for inflation.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of. It's doesn't make a
I
whole
think
lot
I found
of sense.
the combat rules.
You found them?
Oh, did you?
Draw the dice rolls.
All right, hang on to that page. We're going to talk about Renown next. But Kyle, you were saying?
Yeah, so I'm just for comparison with the 3.5 edition, like we said, paycheck to paycheck, that's the same on the two of them. Occasional spending spree. Well, I mean, that's for our resources. We're kind of until we get to like 4 and 5. Rank 4 is you're a millionaire. You control your local economy. 5, you're one of the 1% drowning in wealth with global assets. That is ultra rich.
There we go. That's what ultra rich is supposed to be.
And also, I'd like to point out the flawed destitute as well. You have no money and no home. That's the fucking bone gnawers in a nutshell.
That's the bone gnawers.
We literally have it in the book where it's like, if you're a bone number, you cannot take a pip in resources.
And so what?
That's zero resources is your broke.
Yes.
Well, I have to put a point into this flaw if I want to play a Bonar in this book.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. Where I'll even get that from the outset. It's just something I have. We had tribe weaknesses. We had those weaknesses in 3.5 and in previous editions. We don't get it here because all the tribes are the exact damn same.
Yes, we were over that in the first 5e video, and
Technically, for the viewers, when you say exactly the same, you're just being a little hyperbolic. It's just that there are essentially roles and not like something you're born into.
Mm-hmm. When you've got the ability to pick your own tribe, so therefore, I don't know, the tribes themselves are kind of pointless because these were supposed to be ideologies. These were supposed to be different things that you got behind where, I don't know, do you define tribalism? You get that definition. Let's pull it up right now for all the will actuallys out here. I'm going to pull up tribalism. I'm going to get the definition for it. The state or fact of being organized in a tribe or tribes. You define what a tribe is. A social division in a traditional society consisting of families or communities linked by social, economic, religious, or blood ties, with a common culture and dialect, typically having a recognized leader. There is no leadership in the Garo Nation. There is no religious idea. There are no blood ties, no familial ties, no economic standing, no social standing when it comes to any of this. It says the Shadow Lords want power. Guess what? Anybody else can get power. Anybody else can do this.
Meanwhile, we have it written in the 3.5 book where kinfolk is a background you can take. Mentor is a background you could take. Sept favor, spirit favor, pure breed, reincarnation are all things that you can take.
Fucking voice cracking. That's why I need some water. You want to say in this book that the Silver Fangs are still the kings of the Garo Nation. How are they the kings? Is it by bloodline? Is it through recognized feats? Do they have a meritocracy? Is that still the case then? Because how does that differentiate them from the Fenris? It's the Getter band, but the Silver Fangs are still here. What makes the Silver Fangs the tribe that stays in power? How do you maintain that power? That's never explained. There's not even the lore that they're going off of, where Falcon is the reason why you're in power, or you saved the Yggdrasil back in ancient history, and you've been banking on that one achievement your entire existence as a tribe, and you've been hanging that over the heads of everybody. Not even that you're getting involved in politics. That the Silverfangs are just kings because I don't know, but they just have to be kings for some reason.
I guess you got to figure that out yourself.
Yeah, they leave. I understand you wanting to leave some lore notes up to the player, but at the same time, that's part of the reason we paged you. You set up the grand scope of things, and we make our games within it. That's the whole reason.
You could just release rules, and it should have been half the price of what I paid. I paid $70 for this bitch. That was way too much money. I grimaced as I hit that button confirming the transaction. Oh
I apologize for making you take the financial toll for this video.
That is the Tiger King. I will never financially recover from this.
Yeah, really.
Oh my!
It is. It's
$70. I'll never financially recover from this. It's not even the monetary loss. It's just the shame of having spent fucking money on this project.
It's okay. You lit the book on fire, and there is a video of him holding up the smoldering remnants of said book.
Or are they trying to set it on fire?
Yeah, I fucked up the video on that. It turns out you fucking fireproof not just to cover up the pages themselves, because you knew people like me would do that. I had an entire thing set up where I had isopropyl alcohol. I blew it into a torch that I held up, and I spat fire like you do at the Renaissance Festival onto it, and it didn't catch. And then what happens? I knocked over the fucking table that I had both the camera and the isopropyl on.
Oh shit! Well, that's not good. The worm detected you were trying to cast a gift and wanted to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun to breathe fire.
Oh man,
because I was working at the hardware store when we did that video, and I remember telling Mike about it, and he said, "Well, yeah, you wear bandanas all the time. You could be a fire breather at the Ren Fair. You can audition for that."
Is there anything we could do about that heat, Rick? It's a flamethrower.
Yeah, I got very excited for Pirate Day at the Ren Fair.
Oh man, I love the Ren Fair.
Let's see what else we got.
Okay, so actually, Eden, you mentioned that we have dice.
I dressed as a pirate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
combat's under dice rolls.
Page.
All right. Page number.
It's spread out about multiple pages.
Of course, you guys fucking did this.
123 is when it starts.
Yeah, that's when it starts.
Yes, contested and conflicted dice rolls.
Technically, it's the conflicted turn.
We already know how successes works in 5e already. The difficulty is always set to 6. It's just the number of successes you need, where that's not a bad idea, but you set the bar so high with 6, where I've got, a coin toss to get a success, and if I get a 1, I lose it. If you're going to make that rule, just set the difficulty to 5. Just be a little bit more merciful, set to 5.
Yeah.
So something as simple as who goes first is like 2 pages in to the whole combat rules.
Yeah, who goes first?
You just choose who goes first. You just choose who goes first. You know.
Let's.
They have like a tiered rule set for that. It's close action, between parties, and ranged combat, newly initiated combatants, anything else, blah blah blah.
along with gaining rage. How do you gain rage in this game? I don't know. Play the game like a werewolf, and the rage will just fall in your lap. Apparently.
Hold up.
The more pissed off you are at the game, the more rage you get.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah, let me take a look.
Quit the game. Get 10 points of rage.
Yeah. Where is rage at on the thing? Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, gaining rage. Howling at the moon for the first time on given nights gives you rage. If you get hurt, you get rage.
All right. Yeah, you get rage. Just playing the game gives you rage.
Yes. That's kind of no. It's not when you botch a roll you get rage. That carries some stakes to it because if you fuck it up, you get to do it again at the cost that you burn the rage.
Yeah, because it pisses you, the player, off, and then by extension, it pisses off your character.
Yeah,
it plays off that way. It's kind of funny. It works that way.
Yeah, it works. It really does work because I got a -1 success. That's a point of rage. Well, I'm gonna do it again. Fuck that.
And this is the same game that combined rage and gnosis into 1 meter. And then took out the word gnosis. So yeah, all those Gnostic connections too, the actual Gnosticism, the religious discussions you could have with Werewolf, that's off the table now. The worm being a stand-in for the demiurge, it's no longer a thing. So yeah, all the connections to Kabbalah and the Monad and anything like that, and all the different stories you could tell from a religious point of view, even though I see Gnosticism as nothing but dirty heresy, but okay. That's all gone. So, yeah, an entirely secular werewolf game where you get nothing but rage. You just get all that white privilege rage. You're going to the primal scream after he's paid a man $4,000 to scream in his backyard. That's what you get with this game.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's
stupid.
0 to 5 tracker.
With how easy it is to get rage in this game, should I be losing my... Don't you lose your mind when you get 8 rage or more in the original Werewolf books? So by this point, I should be a raving lunatic foaming at the mouth all the time.
Yes, but they have thought of that, haven't they, in this game?
Yeah, they say gaining rage over 5 results in willpower damage, where, cool, I lose willpower just for having rage that I was going to use anyway.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That's your punishment? And that's your punishment? That little slap on the wrist?
Remind me if I'm wrong. Don't they use like frenzy as a negative or as a positive in this game? It's like a bonus meter almost. What was that called?
Like the cross form requires you to have a little super meter too.
Yeah,
I think you're talking about Earthblood.
That might be on our minds, but
it might be.
Like I'm looking at the cross form right here. Like, yeah, you gotta. It goes off a fucking time limit whenever you go into that. Yeah, I'm looking at this.
That's no fucking fun then. The whole point is
you can't just say, oh, we don't want you walking around in cross form in the scenes. Well, there's books. Did you not read the previous edition books where you've got werewolves just chilling out in cross form in the cairns?
Yes.
Having rituals in the cross form? Practicing Kailindo in the cross form?
Yeah, that werewolf is totally frenzying when he's painting a little picture on a canvas.
Yeah, exactly. You have the picture in the Stargazer's book with the pre-made characters of a cross-form werewolf painting a photo. Exactly. But no, we want it to be the Henshin form. Oh, you like Kamen Rider, don't you? You like all these different shows where you go Henshin a go and you turn into your cross form only for a limited amount of time. You like going Super Saiyan for only 5 seconds. Imagine a DBZ game where you were able to go Super Saiyan, but you could only do that for 5 seconds, and then it was gone, and you had to wait until your meter built all the way back up before you could do that again.
I mean, they did it in the show, but I mean, they can't do it in a game.
Yeah, you had Goku walking around in Super Saiyan in the fucking show, but I can't walk around in cross form, where I could have done it in the past. It's just more shit that you took away.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe they can add maybe a merit where like you can stay in Krynos form as long as you want.
There's a lot more risk in the game itself that you carry by being able to just walk around in Krynos form. Like in Rage Across Appalachia, when the party found that there was just a random human journalist that the Setites had kidnapped. And, ends the road thinking it was another Setite, walked in Krynos form, and she immediately went into delirium.
Yes. You could have all this different funny shit happen because the point with Road is I'm trying to keep her in cross form for as long as possible in order to have shit like that happen. And that also plays into what I'm trying to do with her as a character because she doesn't see herself as human. So having her in that half and half form plays into the character. I hope somebody picked up on that besides me.
Yes.
But yeah, it's all this like little fun roleplay stuff. This is such a game that's so stiff and rigid, while also being way too open. It's paradoxical. But yeah, with Frenzy, the best thing that can happen to you in this game is failing the Frenzy check and just immediately going into the rage, because that will give you 5 points of rage automatically the minute you go into rage. So once again, rage just falls into your lap with this game. It just falls into your lap. There was no excuse to ever run out of rage. It's the same with. It's the opposite issue you had with Vampire, because you were so stingy with blood points in Vampire, but you're overly generous with rage in Werewolf. It's ridiculous.
That I do remember from when we played Las Vegas by Night, is that I think we only started the game with like 1 blood point, and I'm like,
yeah,
and then we went on and we played, Rage Across New York, where we were using the 2nd edition rules for vampires, and Ragnar was just Ragnar and Vigo were swimming in blood points because they were very powerful, and B, what?
I was looking at what the difference between the different rules, and 5th edition Ragnar is a Bruja, and he is scraping by in 5th edition. Then you translate what you could do in 5th edition over to 2nd edition and 3rd edition and V20, and Ragnar was moving so fast you couldn't perceive him. He was moving that quickly, where the amount of time it would take for him to cut off your head would be the time it would take for you to blink. That's how strong Ragnar was in when we transferred him over to a previous edition game.
I mean, blink was so one of the abilities.
As a vampire.
So
yeah, and I'm looking at Frenzy rules on page 139. So yeah, the best thing that can happen in this game is, I don't know, just drop yourself in the middle of a room, go into Frenzy, and then behold, your problem is solved.
Yes.
Yeah. And you ignore impairment abilities and gain 3 bonus dice to resist most mental effect abilities. So I don't see a reason why I should go into Frenzy.
Yeah, they use Frenzy like a bonus meter. Like, there's no reason not to use it.
And I just need 2 successes on a willpower check to exit it. Looks like there's no penalty in really using this.
Yeah, especially some of the gifts you can get anyway.
Yeah, just let me go ahead, just run right into the Pentex facility and go berserk, and then that's it. That's all I need to do.
Well, maybe they're. Let's see. Are they trying to like encourage combative like encounters and like trying to solve things without combat?
You're not supposed to do that with werewolves.
You're not.
Do that.
You're right.
Go fucking play vampire if you want to be non-combative.
So, who are the villains in this game?
It's still the Worm. It's still Pentex, but the Worm isn't a bad guy anymore. He's just misunderstood. He's only doing bad things because of who he is cosmically and the situation he's in. So, no conflict with the Weaver. No real issue with the Triadic Worm. The Triadic Worm is just always there. And the Worm is just a force of death, and all the Black Spiral Dancers are just, your friendly neighborhood death cult who want to see everything die. But the Black Spiral Dancers are supposed to be sympathetic, even though this is the same faction that traffics babies, rapes children, and causes nuclear detonations for fun. They're just misunderstood hooligans in this game.
Okay, so who is the villain? I ask again. Are there Banes?
It's supposed to be the Worm. But
are there supposed to be Banes? Are there Fumari? Are there
with you saying that goes to show just how weak the Worm is in this edition.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the fucking Glasswalkers have Spider as their totem.
The Weaver.
They have built an apocalypse scenario in the book with one of the fucking tribes of Garo. Meanwhile, the Worm is just reverted to being the balance worm again.
A copy Judgment Apocalypse. Okay, so read Weaver Ascendant.
Okay, so the Spider is not the Spider in the old edition is not the same as the Spider in this edition. Okay, so
it should be, and it's stupid. It's not, because that's the fucking Weaver in her purest form.
It's a reimagining of the
Yeah,
game.
it's a
remember.
reimagining. It's not very imaginative.
Reimagining into something that's not combat focused.
Yeah.
Literally said it in the sidebar that mentioned who goes in what order.
Yeah. Oh my god. And the same thing with your Harano and Hoglost, where that's how your character's gonna fucking die. You either get depressed or you go into a blood frenzy. When I look at Hoglost and it just means I'm doing my job and fighting the worm, well, it looks like there's no real detriment to Hoglost. Let me just go ahead, let me just jump right into that. That's supposed to be your little overzealous werewolf nationist fascist kind of bullshit mechanic in here, where you punish me for wanting to play a werewolf the way a werewolf is supposed to be played.
So if they're
Hold up.
so if the worm isn't evil, and if the triad isn't, and if and if the weaver isn't evil, now what exactly is the conflict? You know, like does
There
it mean
is
the
no
triad?
conflict.
Does that mean that the triad is actually currently balanced? Is that it?
I
'Cause
guess
if so-
the worm is one and the triad's balanced.
Cool. Then what's the need for fighting environmentalism? You know, like what's the need for like an active, like the conflict that they are actually saying is conflict when really, because if everything is currently balanced, then what's the point? I guess the player characters are actually the villains.
Yeah, so why the fuck would I
Because-
play this game? Exactly. Why would I do this? Why would I play this game? Besides
Hold
just having the furry roleplay, that's it.
Quick question. I'm reading the part where it says storytelling with Banes right now on page 244. Explain to me how
Yes.
this makes sense. Narratively and thematically, Banes always represent something that they amplify, facilitate, aggravate, and sour what is already there, which is to say that Banes aren't responsible for human evil. Yes, you could make that argument.
You just said they're responsible for human evil.
I mean, they amplify what's already there, and they don't claim they're responsible. Meanwhile, it says like I think like just like in the next fucking couple of sentences, Bane should be symptomless and exacerbating factors. A serial killer may attract a Bane interested in perpetuating violence and preying upon the bereaved, but a person won't become a serial killer because a Bane made them do it. But Banes can make you do it, though.
Feels like I'm listening to Kamala Harris talk, where you're saying everything and nothing at the same time. You just contradicted yourself in that fucking sentence.
If a
They
Bane
basically
can
wanna-
possess somebody...
They want to encourage the idea that humans are evil because they choose to be evil, not because of religious Banes made them do it.
But Banes
that's-
can make you do it. That's the thing.
That's how it should be.
Run by a bunch of fucking anti-human Marxists who say, "Oh, humanity is just an evil thing that we just need to go ahead and do voluntary human extinction already." So, what's the thing here? Is the Bane making me evil, or is it not? Spell it out.
I think it's
No,
making you evil-er.
So the worm is a bad person because these are his spirits.
Yeah. But it's not
Yeah.
because it's the balance worm, not the triadic worm anymore.
Yeah, they call it a track worm, but it's not. It's still treated like it's the fucking balance worm, where it's just the cosmic force of death. Yeah, you're supposed to
It's this new
avoid
age
death. You don't want
bullshit
to
where-
embrace that.
It's this new age bullshit where, oh, nobody's allowed to be evil. They're just misunderstood. No, fuck that. This is the world of darkness. There is a force of death that literally creeps around in Malpheus and creates spirits that plague evil people to help them do evil things. Their whole reason for being is to make more death in the world.
We read the comic at the start of Freak Legion with Mort and how he gets possessed by the worm and becomes a Fomori, where you can feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, his failure to deal with the stress of life and his frustrations is what led to him getting possessed. It was his own moral failings that led to his possession. And at the same time, when he comes home, yes, you can feel pity for him because he's possessed by his demonic spirit, and he's technically gone. He's suffered an ego death. But in the same comic, he vomits acid and worms onto his wife, son, and infant child and kills them. So how much pity am I supposed to fucking feel for you? If you want me to pity all these different people possessed by Banes, like you're saying on page 244.
Yeah.
Oh, you went over, you just caved in a woman's head on the sidewalk, beat her to death. I'm supposed to feel sorry for you. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
doesn't make any
because
sense. It really
there are
doesn't.
no bad criminals out there, right? Yeah, it was society that drove you to kill that woman. It was that. It was all that.
Look,
You're
falling
victim of your own
down was an
circumstance.
isolated incident. I'm good. That's all I'm saying.
And you've got serviceable types of Banes. You've got the sickness for Bane, and you've got the anger Bane, and yeah, hug and kiss my ass. I mean, you're not really saying anything imaginative. Oh, it's supposed to be reimagining. Here's the exact same Banes you saw in first and second edition of Werewolf. You can call it a reimagining as much as you want. It's stuff that you just stole or copied from previous editions.
Yeah,
That's
it,
all
it
this is.
just doesn't make any fucking sense.
This game constantly contradicts itself. It fucking sucks on its own merits. So I'm
So
I'm trying to view this game by its own merits, and I just can't. I can't do it because you took so much from previous games.
I
You're
will
going to
say
create
though,
comparisons between the editions if you do that.
I will say that
well,
just good.
I found one very, very, very small like addition that they did add to the rules.
Tell us.
And I like how they like during transformation, for some reason it's only in Galabro form, but
Mhm.
social you get -2 to your social rolls in Galabro form. But there's also an asterisk there that says this does not count for intimidation or non-human interactions, which
Great.
actually should make sense because they don't have that in the old editions. Because if I want to intimidate somebody and I lose like manipulation and like a manipulation dots when I'm in Krynos form, it kind of makes sense. Like it shouldn't affect like my intimidation check if I'm in Krynos form. If anything,
Oh,
it should amp it up.
I always use the appearance for that instead.
Yeah, but
With
appearance also goes to 0 as well, right?
yeah, with appearance. Go back up to Kronos form. Do you lose points in appearance if you do that? No, there's no appearance stat in this game.
There isn't. Hold up.
No,
What?
they replaced replaced appearance with composure, and they replaced perception with resolve. Right.
What?
So Chronicles
Oh.
of Darkness character sheet.
Yeah, this isn't Werewolf 5th edition. This is Werewolf the Forsaken 3rd edition.
Speaking of which, I have the book right here. Did you say that there are a couple of comparisons
Yeah.
that they've actually
Hang
taken
on
from
to
here?
that. Hang on to that. We're not going to do it yet, but hang on to it. Oh, okay. You have the Weaver here with all these different spiders, and you remember how many different variations there were of the geomids and the pattern spiders in the Book of the Worm? There were a dozen pages dedicated to just the different spiders in of themselves.
Yeah.
And they all had different mechanics. Here you just get a flat pattern spider, and that's it. There's just your stats with it, and all the pattern spiders are the same mechanically. They just do different roles. But if a pattern spider is supposed to be the Weaver's guardians or the Weaver's hunters, shouldn't it get a stat boost or anything like the Guardian
Well-
spider? Should the Guardian
well-
spider just be a little bit stronger?
Well, that's from the Weaver book. This is just the core book.
Yeah, this core book. So the Guardian spider doesn't sound that scary. Let me just go ahead. Let me just jump into the realm of the Weaver and take the Weaver on face to face. Let me go ahead. Let me challenge the god of preservation and assume her role. What's stopping me from doing that?
That's what the Glasswalkers seem to want to do. They've already taken her as a totem.
There it is, and we will ascend to godhood and take on the spider face to face. See, and we've got worm spirits. Aren't fucking snakes supposed to be associated with the worm? I mean, that's in the name of the triad.
Yes.
So why is there a snake spirit aligned with the wild in page 258?
Hold up.
Well, I mean, there are snake spirits that are not worm aligned. There's
Yeah,
Cobra.
fucking
There's
snakes, they're Gaian
Rainbow
aligned.
there's Rainbow Serpent.
That's
these are
that's a Gaian spirit. It's not a worm's wild spirit. We have such grave names. We have the nameless spirit. We couldn't even be bothered to come up with a fucking name for this thing.
Jesus.
But there is a nameless spirit in like the 20th edition.
You get that at the very least. And going through the rest of this, at least you brought back the Glade children. At least you brought them back. That was my favorite thing from the Children of Gaia book. Yet you had the small little gremlins inside the plants, and they would talk to you. And yeah, you have that at the very least. Congratulations, you got one thing right.
Every now and again.
Oh my god. And yeah, let's go into Fomori. Let's go on page 262.
All right, 262,
Yeah,
Fomori.
The Fomori! We get to talk about all these little innocent victims that do horrible things.
Oh, like the brute, the grunt, the twisted slasher. You mean the gore fiend.
Not to say that Fomori are at all to blame for their state. Instead, they're being taken advantage by cruel and opportunistic spirits. You just said that humans, it's their own fucking fault for getting Bane possessed, and humans were evil by nature, and now it's the Banes making them evil again?
Yeah, there is no consistency in this book whatsoever.
Yeah, you remember how many different worm powers we had in Freak Legion?
Yeah, we went
D100
over that in the
table with all
Fomori
the different
episode.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and look at the grunt. See how little a grunt can do.
General difficulty 4 to 2.
Yeah, but that's
not-
the Fomori book. You should probably maybe review this book for just it being a core book. You know,
let's go ahead. Let's look at the grunts themselves. Let's see how not intimidating at all the grunts are.
Let me pull up the core rule book and go take a look at the Fomori that we got in that book. Fomori next to that.
Compare apples to apples is how
Yes.
fucking dangerous the Fomori is supposed to be.
All right, the Fomori, the worm mutants. And of course, we have the fullest of all the shit that they can do and all of the descriptions of what all of the afflictions of the worm can do. And the random powers table and all the descriptions for the random powers table and all the shit that they can do. So
instead you just get a dude in this book.
And we have a generalized from Ori stat, a grunt. So what can a grunt do?
You got 5 physical stats where that's going to be something along the lines of 3 points in strength and 1 dexterity and 1 stamina. Or we'll be generous. We'll say it's 4 strength, 2 dexterity, and 2 stamina that you could have as a point alignment. I can snap you over my knee in one like a twig within the road.
But hold on,
already.
It says athletics 8.
Yeah, athletics 8.
Athletics 8.
Exceptional dice pools. So
that seems...
what are you You're just the Hulk? Is that all you are? You just got dark sight, you got immunity to poisons, and you're just really physically strong? Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it, really?
That doesn't make any fucking
Athletics
sense.
8, firearms 8, melee 8.
So, yeah, what the fuck are these dice pools?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it just says physical, social, and mental. So I guess you establish those yourself.
Yeah, you figure out for your own fucking self how good they're supposed to be. Where, yeah.
That and it doesn't give you it doesn't give you the health pool either. Oh, it says 6 health, 5 willpower, and that's what the hell is enhanced?
You've got next to that is the Twisted Stalker, where I
Twisted
think
Slasher.
Gorehound is what you want to call these things. I think you want to call that a Gorehound.
I thought it was Gorehound.
It's just the same stat like we were just looking at with unnatural weapons. Where can you describe those unnatural weapons, please? Can you tell me what these
slashers deal +0 aggravated damage with their natural weapon brawl attacks?
Instead, you're saying, oh, it's just their favorite knife, and now it's fused to their hand. Bitch, in previous editions, we had guys that had razor blades come out of their skin across their entire body. And it looked fucking freaky when you saw that.
Yes.
Instead, it's just a dude. You see that guy in the picture on this page? It's just a dude. That's what I'm supposed to be scared of now.
Yeah, it's the Shropshire slasher.
That's not scary. It's not scary. It's not creative either.
It just looked dumb. Like, fucking... I could kill that son of a bitch.
Uh-huh.
Kendi could gun him down in the street like a dog. Nobody would fucking care.
Oh no, I hope the Twisted Slasher doesn't come after me. I hope I just don't have a gun in my pocket that I can shoot this guy with.
Oh no, there is a man with a knife standing there in the corner. Whatever shall I do?
Same with the Hollow Man, where you've got them controlling their rats, but any information about them being the oldest form of Fomori and how this was the Defiler Worm's first draft and first successful draft at making Fomori. No, in fact, you don't even get different kinds of vermin. You just get rats. You can't get wasps. You can't get sick birds. You can't get cockroaches or anything like that. You just get rats. You just got to deal with the rats.
Well, I will say,
and the rats are venomous.
We did miss the Hollow Man in our book. To compare it to the Book
Yeah.
of the Worm second edition, which we talked about during the Fomori video, the Pentex trilogy, as it were, Hollow
Yes.
Men were probably one of my favorite types of the Fomori. Just because the description of what they were alone was fucking terrifying. And the accompanying story where a hag literally took a manager from an Otali's, jammed a hook up his ass, and ripped out his organs to make a Hollow Man Fomori was disgusting, and it was horrifying. And that is exactly what the worm should be in this game. The Werewolf the Apocalypse, the reason I call it doom metal is because the things you fight are fucking terrifying to look at. You're a 9 foot tall, brutal killing machine, but the things you fight have to be just as scary, if not scarier than you. This needs to be a horror action game.
And now the Fomori are just dudes on the side of the road? Is this what I'm fighting now?
Yes.
Are you serious with this?
For context, go back and watch the Fomori episode in our Pentex trilogy. It's a couple of months back, but it is...
Along with all the twisted ways of making a Fomori.
Yes.
Where, I don't know, you had that previous book where comparing apples to apples. You buy your kid a toy gun or a doll, and then ever so slowly, they start getting whispers that slowly start drop down to more and more psychopathic behavior, until eventually the werewolves come in, save the kid, only for possession to affect them. And now your werewolf has to deal with the very challenging idea of, can I kill a child even though they're Bane possessed, and can I live with myself after those actions? Instead with this, you get, it was a guy who was just having a bad day, and then a ghost flew into his body, and now there's your Fomori.
Yeah, that's another thing.
There's no tragedy with this.
Yeah, speaking of that, bad seeds, generational wickedness, long planning, and the collusion of a human cult. That's a Fomori family. Fomori families...
This is just what Fomoris were already doing. There's nothing interesting about that. There's nothing original about that.
No, it's just a watered-down version of the Fomori families. And the Fomori families were fucking disgusting. Like, their description in Book of the Worm genuinely turned my stomach. I was feeling ill reading that shit. And
also, I'm noticing some of these stat blocks are just a little fucked up, because you're noticing that the Grunt had no points in Brawl, and these guys have no points in Melee.
Yeah, the Bad Seed has 8 Brawl, 6 Firearms, Leadership 8. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Like, what if he comes at me with a chainsaw, he just can't hit me? Is that it?
Unless you put all the physicals into Dex, then I don't know what else. The fact that they went ham on the dice pools and then just said, oh, they got 5 physical, 5 social, 5 mental. Big fucking whoop. That means they're going to have jack shit in all 3 of those.
Yeah, these rolls look a little janky to me.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they hang on for more origins. Let's see. Yeah, favorite child of a wealthy family, never learned boundaries, debt burdened young professional who pressured into a career that they never desired for them. That motherfucker, that's me. That's me right there. Debt burdened young professional into a career they never desired for themselves. That's me. I am the Fomor. That is I. I am the worm, the force of death itself. It has been revealed. Tyler is no more. Fuck me.
No, you see this Fomori over here? He used to work at Walmart. Now he's evil.
Yeah.
That's what you're finding today. Yeah, that's what you're finding today.
In all fairness, Morton in Freak Legion worked in a shoe store, but that wasn't the only thing. That was a compound of life stresses combined with a number of addictive vices. That was
something that broke him down over years, just years and years of living a life that wasn't going anywhere. That progressively frustrated him and left him open to possession.
Yes.
Where you know the tragedy of you couldn't be happy with what you had is what makes him an actual sad character that you would fight in your games. Where you were living a normal life and you just couldn't be satisfied with that, which is what makes you detestable and pitiable at the same time. And here it's just dude suddenly decides he wants to be a public shooter. No real nuance behind your Fomori. It just happens. It just happens. You just become a Fomori. It just happens. You know, that's who I'm fighting in this game. Sometimes you just lose your fucking mind for no real reason.
It doesn't
a
make
purple
any
orb,
fucking sense.
a purple orb flew into my mouth while I was in Los Angeles, and now I'm evil.
Hello, King.
But the worm isn't evil. So you know, why the fuck should I give a fuck about who I'm fighting?
Yeah, hello, King. We're
Yeah.
in the middle of doing the roast of Werewolf 5e.
Yeah.
God damn it! Why do you? Fucking hell! I
Part
keep.
2.
Hello, we just got time to talk about the Fomori.
Okay, what did I miss?
We were talking about how
so
5th
what-
edition sucks at making scary and impactful enemies.
Yeah, it's just the Fomori in this game are just dudes on the street.
And just
That's
writing a
it.
book in general, because like reading through the core book, like it fucking sucks. Like how they.
Yeah, you're looking
No,
you're
it's
looking at
the
this
same
from
thing.
its own. Yeah.
They
I
also
don't
did the-
remember.
mean, they did the same thing with V5 as well, where you're like navigating through the book and trying to create your own character in the book was like so difficult.
Why did you write this like this?
Hold on. It was hard to make a character do that. Okay, I guess it's just me.
I couldn't use the core book to make my character. I had to go and find a fucking infographic to make my character in Vampire 5th edition. Because the rules
It
were
was
just that fucking confusing.
Well, like
What?
like they yeah, because they just there was no character creation like a page of like what to do step by step. Like
Yeah, they jump around for like 5 pages to make your character.
Yeah, I've got to go here to look at the clan. I gotta go flip 50 pages ahead to read the merits. I gotta go flip 50 pages again to find out what the fuck my attributes and stats are supposed to be.
Oh right. Also, the way they handled merits in 5th editions fucking suck. There's more.
Yeah, we talked about that.
it's like
See.
how many dots do I get to put in merits?
Oh, figure it out. What the fuck? Yeah. And we quite literally found out. Go ahead, King.
Sorry. No, I said you get 5, I believe.
Yeah, but we
Oh,
quite
man.
literally found out that one of the flaws was called destitute, where you're not allowed to take a pip in resources. That's just playing the Bonars. That's just playing the Bonars.
And let's take
I
a
mean,
look
there's
at
a
what else is...
there's a merit there's a flaw that says like restricted blood taste. I mean, that's just playing a Ventru.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
It's literally what I was already going to do.
Oh
Let me
man.
pull up where.
Yeah, thank you for snapping me back to reality, Rose. My cat just walked in here and reminded me I gotta feed her fucking tuna.
Oh, give your
have a
cat
cat?
some
I have a
tuna.
dog.
Yep. She came in here, she said, I don't care about this gay ass book you're talking about, feed me.
Yeah,
Damn.
I like Pentex's modernized logo, where it's a big P, a big X, and everything else is little, and it's Pentex Group now. The big P. Yes, it's exactly what it is.
big P.
Yeah, hang on.
her my big P, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck. Should we even bother talking about Pentex? I mean, fuck this shit. Let's go on to the Black Spirals.
Okay, where are the black
I
spirals
mean, the
at?
2 pages of them.
Yeah.
I think like
Uh,
one more way. There you go.
Yeah, I fucking love how in this game, too, they took a minute to bash Elon Musk for no real reason in the middle of the Black Fury description.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they're like, oh, by the way, Tesla fucking sucks, am I right, boys?
There you go. I got
I-
the Black Spiral
You
Dancers.
say that, and then you buy their electric cars because you think they're saving the planet. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I don't need you to tell me that Tesla sucks, I know that already.
Yes.
Uh,
The black
question.
spirals.
You want me to read the first paragraph, or are you guys good?
Is it... Can you repeat the question?
You want me to read the first paragraph?
The Black Spirals?
Yeah, the first paragraph.
Yeah, let me do it.
Okay.
The longest-standing sibling foes of the Geru, the Black Spiral Dancers are werewolves who forsook their duty to Gaia and threw in with the worm instead. Once a tribe was known as the White Howlers, who plunged into what they believed to be the very lair of the worm while in the throes of rage, hoping to rend the tragic beast itself. Instead, the White Howlers found themselves in the spiritual labyrinth, taunted by entropic spiral mysteries. In their desperation, they followed the avatar of the patron spirit Bat to exit the maze, but the damage had been done. The agonies of the Black Labyrinth and the White Howler's uncontrollable rage shattered them, and they acknowledged the worm in supplication to its might. So is the worm supposed to be evil, yes or no?
But hold on.
Okay, hold on.
There-
To give
if
them
a- if a-
to give you this, the worm is supposed to be evil, but only the modern version of the worm. But if you go
Yes,
back
it's-
to any old tribe members, they'll say, yeah, the worm isn't really evil, it's just corrupted.
And we
Yeah,
get
it
like
was
a
the balanced
TLDR version of their backstory in this book.
So hold on. So if there are no like blood ties to a tribe anymore, then how the hell was the
How are
worm
the
able to?
BSDs?
Yeah, exactly.
How-
They would have to
yeah.
go. Like they would have to
Like-
seek them out and find them without any blood ties to like a werewolf at all.
Like, bruh, just turn away from the worm. You just need to walk away from the worm. Just say no to the worm. Why are the BSDs a thing? Why is this a thing?
What pisses
And to
me
be
off
fair,
is
they didn't
good.
No, sorry, no, I just came in, but I was basically about to say is they didn't really explain. They just said, "Oh, here's how they came to be," not them as a monster or how they react to the world. They just said,
Uh-huh.
"Here's
Well,
why."
They do say what do they want, and it's pretty fucking bland. From the Black Spiral Dancer perspective, the apocalypse is over, Gaia is dead, the Garrow is lost, they're nursing the corpse of their spirit mother. The worm has done its duty, and all that's left is for the remains to decay.
That's a terrible thing. That's
So
basically
what is stopping the BSDs from all putting shotguns in their mouths? Why are you still here?
But exactly. See, if Guy is already
Yeah.
dead, then what the fuck is the point of them being here still?
I thought the BSDs wanted to die. I thought they wanted the worm to die, and now the world's dead. So do us a favor and solve the problem by one.
Yeah.
Well,
Run
yeah.
right off into the
It's-
sunset. Your job here is done.
Yeah,
no.
exactly. You don't need to fucking do anything anymore. So
The
If
world's
you're a,
dead.
if you're a writer and you're writing a character that needs to have a purpose and your purpose is done, that's usually the time to usually either kill them off or send them somewhere else and replace them with another character that does a different role.
uh-huh.
Yeah, no. This
and-
actually came up. If the world is dead, why are the Black Sparrow Dancers still acting like it's still 500 years later?
Uh-huh.
What are they doing? What are they doing? They're not rampaging
Well,
throughout the world. They're not destroying civilization. Let's be fair. Even a small hive could wreck like half of a country. And I'm using
Uh-huh.
the United States as an example.
Here's a better story about the Ephemeris falling. If you wanted them to fall so badly, this would have been a better example. You could have happy that the Ephemeris did this in despair of losing Gaia, where them and their loss just lost their minds because everything we fought for is gone and we only exist to fight. So now all that we have left to fight is each other. And the Black Spiral Dancers say our job is done. They leave, they either do a mass suicide or they go directly into Malpheus and stay there. And you don't even need the Black Spiral Dancers for that story anymore. You could have had the Ephemeris be the main villains that way. But no, you just want to do your little political soapbox instead. You want to make a little political statement that says nothing with the Ephemeris, and you just want to piss off your fans instead.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for them to be there when, hypothetically, in 5e, that guy is already dead, and the Get Ephemeris just become the pure, and there you go. You have two apocalypse scenarios coexisting. Do the Glasswalkers win, or do the Get Ephemeris win?
There we go. Nihilism. This entire book is just based around nothing but nihilism.
Yeah,
Well,
fucking
what we could do
sucks.
is, what if we just play a game where we just play all the player characters are Get Ephemeris and everybody else is just the villains?
That just makes sense because as we established, the Get Ephemeris are the people that are actually fucking doing anything.
Yes.
Every other tribe is just a gang. It's just a gang. It's just a street gang. That's all these other tribes are.
More like a club, actually, because you
Yeah.
Exactly.
you can bounce from one club to
Losers
another.
Club. They're all yiffing each other in their basements.
Yeah,
I
the
would
Black
bring-
Fury is
hold on,
still What's up?
Yeah, but they can't yiff each other because they can only be in the Krynos form for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they took away the fucking metas too.
I will never forgive them for that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Metis
that's
puppies are
so-
the cutest thing in the game.
Yeah,
And
just
now
we had
Garrett can just
Snooter.
spontaneously come. Yeah, Garrett can just spontaneously come into existence now.
Sure.
Metis are weak anyway. I don't like playing them.
Go ahead, King.
Those are trade-off.
Everybody, hold up. What, King?
Have we talked about gifts so far yet?
Not yet.
Gifts
no.
and how? Oh yeah, we could talk. We've already talked about the Call of Ephemeris and Lost 2 idea that was. And we've already talked about the Stargazers, and once again, you're just pissing away the Stargazers.
Yeah.
And the Stolen Moons, yeah, it's just a skinned interest by another game. Thank you for bringing up Samuel Hate, the stupidest fucking plotline in all World of Darkness, for just a moment. I do think Stolen Moon sounds like a decent name, but the Skin Dancers, it sounds freaky when you hear that name.
Yeah.
Push.
Should have just
So-
called them Stolen Wolves.
Yeah. Rose,
said
did you
Gift.
fucking shit? somewhere?
IFT,
Did you fucking
not
shit
Gift.
in this house?
So, where?
Because
What's up?
I was about to say, because the way they handle gifts actually make no damn sense. The ruling is actually
It's based off of your an attribute and renown roll. Where
no. I mean,
Yeah.
how you get gifts? They worded it so terribly. I had to read that shit like 20 different times, and I can
Uh-huh.
read. And I read Shadowrun, and that made no sense to me for a good while.
this man can understand Shadowrun. He can't understand 5th edition.
Yeah, where are gifts in the book? Remind me real
But
quick.
yeah, I love how just horribly disorganized this book is.
Yeah,
I think I went
Even
past it.
Shadowrun, everything consistent. All the rules make sense. You just have to jump before them and remember what goes first. This one, the word is just fucking dog shit.
Mhm. Where once again you have no fucking combat rules because you just scoured this entire book to find out how the fuck you're supposed to fight.
Yeah, where the hell are gifts
And-
at, actually?
Let's go ahead.
They're on page. I'm using this on my phone. And I'm doing it faster than you people.
We gotta
That's just
flip through this. I'm flipping through the pages with this too. I can't fucking find this shit either.
I mean,
you
at the
remember
very
how long
least, the
it took
PDF
me
has
to-
like a clickable glossary. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I can sing the praises of this book.
Yeah, how long it took for us to find these things the first time we made a video about this, and now how long it's taken us to do this again?
Yeah.
I
that
found
just
this on page.
speaks to the
Here we go.
disorganization of the book. Okay,
Uh-huh.
let's see. It doesn't.
It's supposed
where
to be
the
one.
fuck?
What was like page 145? I'm getting.
145.
Yeah, it's 145.
We're not
Oh
cutting
yeah,
this out.
yeah.
We're
Here
not
they
cutting
are.
this
Chapter
out.
6: Gifts and Rights. There we go.
Hold on. Let me read this part that makes no damn sense. For me, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Learning gifts. All guru can learn any native gift of other gifts have progressors. Sorry, I have a stutter. In the form of auspice or tribe, all gifts also have a total renown requirement, and the guru must match or exceed the total renown value before they can learn it. If the gifts have this, if the same gifts has different totals, renown requirements as an auspice or tribe gifts use the lower of the two. Spirits grant and attack all gifts and receive a gift from a particular hard to find or relicted spirit. Might be its own scene or even story for its own learning new abilities, experiences, or character growth.
Uh huh.
Okay, I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't fuck that up. I
Well,
had
so-
a stroke.
So what you could have said instead is that every gift has a different requirement based around either your auspice, tribe, rank, and you could just said that instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry if I.
No,
To
it's
me,
all
I
good.
felt like I. Stroke.
Yeah.
But tell me if that made sense to you. It may
Yeah,
just
the way
been-
I phrased this way it should have been written in the book. Instead, what you read off was a word salad, where that describes this entire book in a nutshell. You could have just fucking explained that like that instead. That to give us this Chat GPT generated response instead.
Yeah,
and
it's fucking ridiculous.
It's really simple. Saying you want another clan's gift, it just costs another more. End of story.
Yeah. Notice how many of these gifts use willpower, where you are going to burn through willpower by the end of the game. Given how stingy it is to get willpower in 5th edition, where you have to do one very specific action in order to get willpower in the system, and getting rage past level 5 causes you to lose willpower. How many of these gifts are you just going to walk around with and you just can't use them?
Yeah, it doesn't make any
often is that gonna
sense.
happen?
The fact that you have all this.
Compare this to every other edition we've had where you had gifts, you could use them whenever you wanted, as long as you had the requirement for it, which was easy enough to get. As long as you acted within character, you got willpower. As long as you were in a cairn or speaking to a spirit or in certain parts of the Umbra, you got Gnosis. As long as you were mad, you got Rage. You always had a resource to spend, instead of it being this fucking stingy ass bullshit you get with willpower in 5th edition.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense that you don't have Gnosis anymore either. The fact that you have to use your rage to do so.
And then I can't use the power. That's 5th edition in a nutshell.
Yeah, that
or you just don't give me the power at all.
That unlocking it's kind of bullshit too. It's like, oh, you need renown to unlock a gift. No, you have a certain rank and you have certain things that you can get based on your auspice, your tribe, and your breed. That's it.
And but with the way we set this up in 3.5 is that you needed to be a certain rank in order to get certain gifts.
Yes.
But that's because the Gamer Nation doesn't trust you with this high-powered gift or right because you haven't proven that you're responsible enough to use it. There's no real explanation as to why I need the renown for some of these gifts.
Yeah.
So I just don't. Yeah, I just don't get it because the spirit I'm talking to is this stingy asshole. Is that it?
Yeah. Why do I need glory renown to learn Hair's Leap?
Yeah.
That's a rank 1 gift, for Christ's sake.
It's as little as it does in this, where you spend strength and glory and leap 3 meters horizontally or 2 meters vertically for every success. That's not that much, dude. Compare that to another level 1 gift in another game. I don't know, City Runner.
Yeah.
Wait, hold
Where
on,
I was running up a building with that gift.
Wait, hold on. What
That
the
was
Hair's
me
Leap?
being
Really?
doing that.
Yeah. Fucking
Yup.
Hair's Leap. Yeah.
You jumped stories. That's so much better.
Yeah. Considering how good Hair's Leap used to be and how much it fucking sucks in this game.
Yeah, if
Where-
mechanically, if you not many people use it, but if you do, you're basically a Frogger werewolf, which is terrible.
Yeah, and this, with 1 success, you get 9 feet off the ground, and that's it, really. That's
not
it.
a lot.
No, you leap 9 feet forward or 6 feet in the air. Where congratulations, you now have to spend the rage in order to jump as
9
high as
feet in
Michael Jordan.
9 feet in the air, but when you're in Chronos form, you're like 9 feet, 8 feet tall. It makes no sense.
Yeah, should I be able to do this already?
Yeah.
And that's not even going to bring up, okay, much as this is me from my point of view, and I came across this realization. The Red Talon gifts. One, I was thinking, when I first read the Red Talon's gifts across multiple things, I thought their gifts were rather weak and slow. After a second look of actually understanding it, it's all about territorial control, which makes perfect sense for Red Talon. They're all about, if you're in a Red Talon territory, you're fucked.
Where you had stuff like Wolf at the door, where the Red Talons in that game were based around causing terror. The name of the game was simple. Fear with the Red Talons. You don't get that kind of identity with any of these tribe-based gifts. It just all looks and sounds the exact fucking same.
Yeah, it's all really saying, I forget it's called, lose your path. It basically means if somebody try to charges you in your own territory, they can get lost and you can pick them off really easy.
Where
Very much so.
I'm looking at the Black Furies now, and now we're just getting Greek names are just getting thrown around for the sake of sounding cool and sounding sophisticated. Where, let me read this. Curse of Aelus. The Garen calls a thick, eerie fog that obscures vision and unnerves the opponent. This is a total renown 3. I need glory for this. It costs willpower. Ugh. And it requires me to use a resolve and glory rule. It takes an entire action to use. And the user makes the check difficulty. You need 2 successes. Each success in the margin allows the user to cover an area roughly the size of a house with fog. This does not sound like it needs 3 renown.
It really doesn't. This seems like a power that you can get literally a 1-level fetish for.
This is the D&D spell Fog Cloud. That's all it is.
Yes.
It's really slow and floppy. Now, because I'm a power gamer, I can optimize a lot of this shit, but the gifts by themselves aren't that good.
Exactly. Compare that like apples and oranges with D&D, where I could cast Fog Cloud and then have a bonus action or have movement. Or, I don't know, if I had Rage, like I did in previous editions, I could make that Fog Cloud and then proceed to kick some fucking ass in that Fog Cloud where everybody else is obscured.
And Coup de Gras.
Yeah.
Coup de Gras?
Coup de Gras.
Coup de Gras. Yeah.
All right, it confused me because of C and the Gras.
Yeah.
Anyway, basically, it's really a potent power, but for only finishing off a character for like that has, let me see, 1 or 2 hit points left. My bad, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Because of how glory works in the system, it's only good for like going after like a singly once down injured character that you could normally kill with a good dice roll by yourself. It seems entirely.
Yeah. And we also got a gift in here called Kali's Scar. You want to talk about fucking cultural appropriation? Why does a clan, a tribe that's based in Greece, have an Indian-based gift?
Because women.
You got an explanation for this?
So there's also
What's up?
So I'd like
See,
to
and-
point out something though here. Notice how there is no gift called Sense Worm in 5th edition
Yes.
because they purposely did that because they want to make it so that where it's impossible to tell who the worm is and what the enemy is and what they're supposed to fight.
Uh-huh. Because there is no real fucking enemy by this point. You just go around, you just dick around as a werewolf because there's nothing left to fight for. There's nothing left to live for.
I know the final's biggest insult, Gorgon's visage.
Yes.
My bad.
Yes.
In older editions, it literally turns your opponent to stone, which was so much
Yes.
better.
And now it's just paralysis.
Yeah, now it's
It's
just not literally turned to stone. Fuck that. I want my werewolf to be able to turn someone into a fucking terrified stone statue, because that's awesome.
How much renown do I need for this?
9.
9? Just
up,
for
you-
that?
Jesus.
Yeah,
Fucking
hold on.
pussy-
Most of you
Get this
guys
pussy ass
only
shit out of
have
here.
a single 9 renowned power. Most of them only have a single one. Oh god.
And of course it uses willpower, but why do I have rage? You said I could use rage to cast gifts, and there are so few gifts in this book that require actual fucking rage to use.
Am I the
Yeah,
only
let
one
me-
here that finds it ironic that the Black Furies have a power to actually make something hard and stiff?
Yeah,
Don't.
Well, Tyler Bassett can tell you how good the Black Furusi is.
No. Moving on. All right, let's look at the heart warden.
That's just
We
some
can piss you
Bacante
off.
shit right there.
Hold on, yeah, let's look at the heart warden. Let's see if we can give someone else depression.
I don't even want to go over to Gale Stalkers. I'm playing the Wendigo right now, and I'm having such a fucking good time at the Wendigo, and I don't want to go over to Gale Stalkers because... Do you
Well,
remember
hold on.
the
At least
theme
in
of the
Gale
Wendigo?
Theme of ice base. They
Yeah,
still kept
there's
that.
not a single fucking ice thing I'm looking at right now. You get lacerating wind, where let's
Hold on,
read
there's
about this
chill
mechanically.
and claws
Alright.
and claws of the frozen death. Those are the only 2 ice powers they have, actually.
Yeah, that's it. You get 2. You get 2.
Yeah.
And the whole gale stalker, like the gale, the wind that you're named after, you get 1 wind-related gift with this.
Yeah,
This is
I like.
brutally underwhelming.
I like the Gale Stalker's glyph. I think that was a very cool design.
There it is. You
Nice.
live in a fucking teepee now.
No, I see a mountain.
Yeah, that's right. There it is. Well,
It could
I
be a
do like
mountain
the whole,
or teepee.
Yeah,
Like that's why I like it because it's a very has a lot of symbolism in it.
Yeah, to be fair, that's also why in 3.5 we changed the glyph of the Wendigo, because supposedly that was supposed to be a werewolf, like a wolf spirit dashing across the moon, and I just couldn't see it. I saw
Okay,
the
now
screw
I'm
attack
pissed
from
off.
Metroid, and that was it.
Honestly,
insulted.
I prefer
happened?
the old one.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
it didn't look-
I'm insulted. I'm actually insulted. They basically took the theme of territorial control with Red Highlands and gave it to the fucking Heart Wardens. Oh my bad.
Oh my god, what? Hold
The
up.
Fianna. The Fianna get it.
You
No,
you
that
basically
is-
get all our power to control the area and territory.
Sacred boundary.
Yo-
So
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell that to the Silent Striders. They have
Territorial
the ghost
dominance.
thing.
See, that's a rage one, but it still costs it still costs glory renown.
I'll put
Yeah,
that. And
so
then
why is
Baylor's-
so why are
Why
the
am I
Silent
getting Baylor's
Striders
gaze?
called
That
Listen-
should be a fucking
fine,
worm
whatever.
power. That's Baylor, like the Fomori of ancient time.
And I'll let that one slide.
Yeah.
slide.
Where's that gift?
Baylor's gaze. That is page 173.
173.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
But oh my good, I was stewing this over in my mind. Why I hated the Heart Wardens so much, why they took Fianna from me. The reason that I liked the Fianna so much to begin with was actually for a reason that that was quoted in the relationships part of pre-book Korax, one of my favorite books in the World of Darkness, where they talked about how the Fianna are supposed to be the best and the worst of the Garo, all condensed into one single tribe. You know, they're loud, they're boisterous, they're fighters, they're hot-headed, but they also have, you know, just an incredible theology about them. They've got a lust for life, but they've lost pretty much goddamn everything. They lost their best friends when the White Howlers descended into Malpheus. They lost their home territory to the Order of Reason and Oliver Cromwell. They, live in shame at what they've done, at what they had to do to take away territory from the Wendigo and the Uktena in Appalachia. They've lived under the boot heels of the Silver Fangs and the Shadow Lords for as long as they can imagine, and they are waiting for the day when their candle burns out. They are doomed, and they know it, but that does not fucking stop them, ever. And it shouldn't stop them, because they are warriors for Gaia. They know it. They fought alongside the White Howlers. They fought alongside the Fae in Ireland. And despite how much they lost, they always persist. The Heart Wardens are fucking innkeepers, and that's it. There's no tragedy to them. There's no story to them. There's no reason to care about them.
The landlord werewolf.
That's all they are. Jesus.
Same with the Red Talons, where he turned them into the fucking Lorax. I speak for the trees, for the trees have no tongues. What about the challenge of the Red Talons? You had to deal with the Red Talons. You could not live in a post-apocalypse with the Red Talons. They wanted to kill humanity.
And they were like, to be fair,
so many other tribes that need human kinfolk and love humanity. You would have to deal with the Red Talons at some point in the future. That was a question that you were confronted with. You had to figure out what you were going to do with the Red Talons, and that's gone. No struggles in this game. No hard questions. Everything is just boring as sin.
Let me continue this argument from my
King.
side. As the Red Talon friend here, because Red Talons are peak, all the tribes kick ass.
Don't make me send you the meme, King. I'll send you the meme.
I take that back.
Go ahead.
Okay, but the power lace. I'm not even going to talk about the lore because there is no any good lore in this book ever. So I'm not even going to try that one. If you look at the Red Talons by older edition, the whole entire stick is, yes, we hate humanity, but we're also right. At the end of the day, it's very much stated. The Red Talons care about more nature, the thing that will be here 1,000 years later instead of humanity. The world and all the things inside of it. Yes, the Red Talons hate humanity, but they're well on their right. If they wouldn't have let humanity grow so big, the world wouldn't be this fucked as it is. That's one fact the Red Talons will always be right about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we talked about the right of easing the land, if I remember correctly, that's what it was called, during the Red Talon video. And how they quite literally have a gift where they drag a human out into the woods and torture him for as long as he still lives, until he finally expires of exposure or his wounds, in order to purify the land. That is what the Red Talons do. They're eco-terrorists.
Yeah, and their powers suck ass. Okay, render down, that's only good for like stealth missions, so no. And they, out of all the Red Talons of the Red Talons' power, they're all based around nature, and they only have two powers based around nature now. They gave the Red Talons the most broken power in the whole entire game, which is, to be fair, it's actually universal. I'm immune to one form of damage, just straight out, period.
Boom. And
It's called
that explains why the Red Talon video that we made has so many views. Because people were looking at this thinking this was the meta werewolf of 5e. And we're looking at the Red Talons, and I bet so many of them were shocked to find out, oh no, this isn't the Lorax wolf, this is the human genocide wolf.
Yeah, and that's one thing why Red Talons aren't really played as much, because you have to play them right, at the same time not ruin the whole entire mood of the game. To play a Red Talon right, you have to be basically not fucking retarded like lawful stupid paladins. You'd be like, I hate humanity, I will go to the store, but I will not talk to anyone.
Because we have Rap Red in our game with Red Cross Appalachia, and he's doing a fantastic job with the Red Talon.
Yes.
Because when he said that, I lit up and I clapped my big baby feet together that somebody's playing as my favorite tribe. And he's playing it, and he's playing it like the Neanderthal kind of wolf that I expected from the Red Talons. At the same time, he's playing into the Philodox. He's keeping true to the Auspice, because I'm playing the Arun, and I'm doing a whole bunch of questionable shit with the Arun. And the your character's fucked up if the Red Talon is calling you out for your behavior.
Yes, and that's one of the things. Like, quite literally, when you killed Tanner Sadie in the junkyard, Enns the Road immediately picked up his jacket and licked the Vitae off to get a high. and fucking and Rap Red stepped up as Autumn Leaf to go, "You're going fucking insane. Put that shit down." He is somehow the best and worst influence that Ends the Road could have had, and I have to applaud Rap Red for playing a Red Talon so well.
Because the Red Talons operate off their own morality. They don't go off of human understanding. They have their own morals and own standards.
They are wolves. They don't believe that they are werewolves. They believe they are wolves first.
And
they are, in a sense. Oh god, that also brings up the other part. Why did you ruin the spiritualism of all werewolves? Why?
There's no religious aspect to this now. I said that before. They took out the Gnostic aspects of the game.
Yeah, Gnosis doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, even the heretical religions can't be talked about anymore.
Makes no goddamn sense lore-wise, because even if Gaia worked by this unique version, where Gaia just picked you and you became a chosen one, you would still form societies over thousands of years in that one area.
The tribe.
Yeah, tribalism, as we discussed earlier in the video.
It doesn't fucking exist for the tribes.
They use moon bridges to talk to each other because we can't go into the Umbra. The Umbra's dangerous.
Speaking of,
when did that stop you before?
Should we talk about rights? Because the rights play out the exact damn same way the gifts do, and none of them are interesting.
Yes, let's talk about rights.
No, I don't want to talk about rights. None of these are interesting.
No.
Yeah, let's actually go to the right.
Okay.
This is all right. You talk about rights. I'm going to go skip ahead. I'm going to skip ahead to talismans.
Okay, here we go. The right of abjuration. Abjuration. My apologies.
Yes.
Yep.
You basically, you cleanse an area of worm taint. Wow, that's a really.
Yeah.
So
it's the right of cleansing
by another name. The right of cleansing.
How can you tell if something is worm tainted if you don't have sense worm?
Exactly.
I don't think any of you thought this fucking book through.
No, they didn't. It's
or maybe
ridiculous.
they did if they just want the more intrigue angle.
Wait, hold on.
These guys need to go on strike to get paid better.
I got one. Are you sure, DM? Are you sure this toxic spell is worm tainted? Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh my good lord.
Because if it's not, I'm wasting rage here. Congratulations! You just cleansed something of worm taint that wasn't actually worm tainted. Oh well.
Everything's worm tainted and nothing is worm tainted at the same time.
Which is, and I don't understand why they got rid of that. They act like that was some universal thing. No, werewolves aren't. Even the Red Talons aren't stupid enough to just start raging in front of a middle of a city. They're not stupid. It's like a wolf wouldn't do that in the middle of a herd.
The veil exists, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. It just easy. That power was only used for them to easier to hunt down Fomori and tainted individuals that were unredeemable. In the Red Talon's case, it's just an excuse to kill someone, but still.
Every day is a Purgium day.
Yes. It just doesn't make any sense, the fact that they would try to induce rage in everybody around you. It'd be absolutely fucking ridiculous. A huge veil breach. You would get gunned down in the fucking street if people found out. That's the whole reason the veil exists in the first place.
Yeah.
The universal main rule is because the main bosses of the supernatural, for the antediluvians to the spirit guy himself, does not want a war that will consume half the world in destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants that.
You're supposed to preserve the world, not destroy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the mages, as much as they like to fucking throw shit at each other, won't actually destroy the world.
Yeah, you're supposed to love and protect humanity, not to want to see it be destroyed.
You were the chosen one. You were supposed to bring balance to the fort.
Oh yeah, which brings up another point. Because of how werewolves are born, you're basically a chosen one, and you're supposed to say, "I'm chosen for a purpose." If not, Gaia chose a dumbass person to be a werewolf.
And if Gaia's dead, how the fuck are werewolves still getting made?
Yeah.
No, I think it's Luna. Either way, you're basically a chosen one at birth because Luna, the god of the spirit of the moon, saw something in you that will change hundreds of lives. What elevates you more than 100 other people in the city?
So you're special. You're not the product of, millennia of bloodthirsty fighting against the very forces of death, decay, control, and chaos themselves. No, you're just chosen. Ta-da, you're a superhero. Right out of the gate. Fuck that.
You can play like a normal person who just suddenly became a werewolf. In this one, you have to be chosen in some way.
Yeah, you had Sekhmet in the Rich Cross New York book, who was exactly that. He didn't ask to be a werewolf, but now he is one.
Yeah.
And he's dealing with it the best he fucking can.
And there were a couple of reluctant Garrow in the Rage Across Russia book, as we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but like there are people that just don't like being Garrow.
Yeah, it was. I remember that book. I remember someone else reading that book. It was a health center for people that were mentally disabled and fought the werewolf. End up
The
mentally
Dockenberg Foundation.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was sad. That was a sad part of werewolves. At some point, that even werewolves would leave them the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
Until Samuel Hyde came along and killed them all.
Yeah, even I played a Red Talon, I'd be like, "You doing a good job, pup. Keep guarding this forest here." As I walk away.
Samuel Hake could have been a really good, interesting plot point. It's just written so clumsily.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Lazar Suji just made a video about him too, where thank you for explaining that plot line in a way that made sense.
Mm.
It didn't sound like a schizo post.
I remember correctly. Yeah, I talked to the fucking hell.
I haven't actually watched that video, but I think I'll actually take a look at it now.
Yeah, I actually explained the way that you didn't have to go between 5 different books to get the whole story.
Here we go. Here's the power. The right of shadows. You basically make a tear into the Umbra, and you walk in.
And that's it.
Well,
that's it.
Because you don't have Gnosis in this game anymore.
Yes.
They try to play it off like in any environment, bitch, you're basically sidestepping, but with too many extra steps.
Yeah, so they put a giant roadblock in the game. Even though the book's like, the Umbra's dangerous. No fucking shit. The world's dangerous.
Yeah, behold, we now bring the pacing of the story to a screeching halt to perform this right.
Oh, and here's this power that makes no damn sense. The right of kin seeking.
Hold up.
Where,
oh my god.
The way you explain the first change is that the werewolf just automatically knows upon their first change where the nearest werewolves are. So why should I have this at any point if the werewolf is just going to find me on his own?
Yeah, this is where Hontai Right is finding about a particular werewolf or someone, but that doesn't work in lore because they're chosen at random. My bad, they're fatally chosen. They're fatally chosen.
Nobody's thought about this for a while. It's been 20 years since Justin Chile wrote anything.
Where
maybe they're trying to avoid black spiral dancers.
Yes.
Hold on. These powers aren't ranked.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, they're not. I just noticed that.
Anybody can pick it up.
Yeah, you could just think about how bad that'd be. Write a spirit summoning. If you just decided, hey, what if I just summoned a worm spirit? I wonder what would happen. Some irresponsible Garrow gets a fucking Bane floating around in his head after the shit he's seen and decides, what if I summon this spirit? What will happen? Good fucking job.
What's the XP grind?
Wait, hold on. My bad. They're not called fetishes. They're called talismans.
Yeah, because we can't actually use the word fetish, fetish was a religious item that had a spirit inside of it, but because we live in a world where religion needs to die, you change it to talisman.
Wait, a fetish? Hold on, that's the definition of actual... That's the perfect example of what a fetish actually is. What the fuck?
Yeah, we don't want to fetishize their language, ironically.
They still fetish is an English term, right?
Yes. Yes. So it wasn't necessarily tied to a culture because you had the tribes that believed that trees or spears would have spirits inside of them. You also had Christians who believed that holding the cross had spiritual importance, or you had the Shinto who believed that if an object existed for 100 years, it would gain its own spirit and sentience. So,
and the biggest insult, the clave. They treat this like it's just a one-off weapon, not the spiritual significance that it's supposed to mean.
Yeah, like not the supercharged silver knife.
Yeah, basically saying here's a clave. Okay, I have a silver knife. That's it. That's all that claves are.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's no ritualistic significance to it.
No.
Yeah, let me pull up silver knife on eBay. Let me see how much I can buy this for.
Oh God.
Pure silver or silver plate?
Honestly, they're like so common that even like a vampire can actually get a silver knife.
Yeah, so all I need to spend is $325 and I can get a clave.
Yeah, just like in the World of Darkness, older World of Darkness, if I ran a game or any DM ran a game, I would expect them to keep track when silver is bought and sold because guess what? Like a third of the supernaturals are weak to silver, and guess what? Vampires and werewolves track that.
Yeah.
So
If you buy a large amount of silver, we will know, and we will be careful.
yeah,
On
isn't this
Google, it
supposed
has
to
to
be
be pure
The
silver. And has
clave
to
has
be
now been
steam.
commercialized.
yeah?
Anything
So
can
is
get
this
clave.
tightly
Yeah.
controlled resource in the World of Darkness,
Because it's really useful.
along with gold, along with cold iron?
Yeah.
So
Here's the thing. It actually begs the question of like, in the World of Darkness, like because of the large amounts of different like secret organizations that actually fight with werewolves and such, you'd think that the value of silver would actually be higher than gold in the World of Darkness for some
Would,
mysterious
but
reason.
also
Well,
magic does transform Earth into silver. That too.
you had the Order of Hermes who were using transmutation to turn iron into silver, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that there is more silver out there in the world that can be sold and bought, do you think that because there should be like maybe some demand for it, right?
Yeah, I mean
Silver's
there
a
is always
consumable
going
in
to be
multiple
demand for
industries.
silver, but
Like
in the
like
real
a
sorry, go on.
because like in the real world, yeah, like there is like the value of silver is actually there is some value that for silver, but I would imagine there would be a little bit more value in World of Darkness just because of the high demand for it.
well, no, think about
Yeah,
it.
no,
We're
silver.
probably going to get an anecdotal story explaining how that works in somebody's game.
Well, no, hang on. Think
But-
about it for a second in terms of the veil. So, say that like governments start buying up mass amounts of silver, that rapidly inflates the price of silver. But if that's the case, then people are going to ask, why not gold? Why not other, precious metals that could be equally as valuable, if not more? Why is this government hoarding this one very specific type of metal? And then that puts the
Right.
veil in
And-
jeopardy.
Any or vampire with their
Exactly.
own shit is going to be like, okay, so you're trying to fight werewolves or something that's hurt by silver. We're looking at you.
You probably explained why silver isn't kept in, because if it was kept, then people would be calling questions like this.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not bringing up cold iron because that has to be actually physically made via a very hard process.
Right.
You can make that outside. You can just literally mine up some iron ore and boom, you got some cold iron.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's why changes are getting fucked in the modern day.
Yeah, you go to
Yeah,
a
'cause iron
blacksmith
is
at a Ren fair, bam, iron.
But also, here's
Pretty
the
much.
thing.
It's very
why-
easy.
Here's the thing in lore why it's cold iron, not just iron. Because at the end of the day, cold iron was the iteration of the depth of fantasy. Because when people were making shit, it was the first concept of iron that solidified the idea of let's end dreams. And also in every text is cold iron, cold iron, cold iron.
Yes.
And if you look at actual modern day iron, that shit is refined, refurbished, buffered. You can do a lot, but the cold iron is just a cold lump of dead metal.
Mm-hmm. Which is why the Nanakkers are able to hold on to it and build machines with it. It's because there was some symbolism in the weakness. You notice that 5th edition doesn't explain why the silver weakness is a thing. It's because of the pact you made with Luna. You're weak to silver. That's why you
Which
have
is
that.
hard.
You don't get that in this book.
Yeah, I'm looking at the merits for the splats from Werewolf, and they suck ass.
Yeah, because nothing in this book is worth taking. Everything into here is so fucking samey.
Now
with
it's
the
not as bad as
I
Vampire.
don't even want to talk about the fucking Cairns in there because the mechanics are so bare bones.
It's not as bad as the Vampires, where it's mostly negatives. This has
Yes.
negatives too, but they're all mostly useless.
Yeah, the positives aren't really worth taking, and the negatives are debilitating.
Day job. You have a day job. Oop, I just got resources.
Yeah. You want to read
Okay.
what weapons, armor, and equipment does?
Nothing.
Where,
Oh yeah,
yeah, you.
the most stupid and retarded thing.
Mhm.
Armor in this game doesn't actually give you things. It just downgrades stuff from aggravated to lethal. I mean, from
Exactly,
aggravated to
which is still
proficient.
going to fuck up your rolls.
Yeah.
So that basically means that it even says that in lore. Oh, you basically don't need to wear armor because you already do this naturally. So, what's the point of what?
What's the point of this?
I-
Where I can just get the strongest weapon in the game, the Claymore sword, and just run around with that, and then sweep an entire team. Just go ahead, get the Claymore, go into Chronos Swarm. That's it. Game broken.
Yep, there you go.
That's it.
5,
That's how you win this
5
game.
points plus 1 plus the extra 3 from Chronosform. Bam, 13, just 13 damage right there.
I will give them one few points of actual benefit. I'll give you this 1 point of actual good shit. One, they made it so that werewolves still are deadly as fuck. Because if you choose to play at our room, you can still wipe the floor with most things. They still give werewolves a deadly factor.
And
I will give them that much.
Oh God.
And that's all I'm going to give them.
Yeah, this is all I'm going to give mechanics too. 5th edition just fucking sucks. Okay, so all you pussies in the comments of the last video who are saying you didn't talk enough about the mechanics, we did, and there's nothing to fucking talk about. There's nothing interesting in there.
And we did a
To be
side-by-side comparison with the far better and superior book that we ourselves wrote.
Yeah,
Oh,
toot our own horns.
Yes,
your game is
I am
ridiculously
shilling Werewolf 3.5, and that's only because it's good.
It's called your game is harder than Werewolf 20th edition because of the raw damage. My bad, that was Push's idea.
Yeah, that was our idea. Because if you get hit with something, it needs to hurt. You need to be freaked out when you go into a combat encounter with this game. That was the design philosophy I had.
Like I was saying,
if you're gonna work,
good.
Sorry, but genuine criticism. If you're gonna work it like that, you need to at least give them automatic successes on their soak rolls. If not, every counter is just way too deadly. Even for
that's what I'm doing with some of the bosses in this game.
Or just get rid of the whole ones rule so that you don't lose successes from ones.
You don't lose successes on ones on damage. That's literally in the rules.
Yeah, it's a flat damage that we did.
Yeah, it like for example, like a handgun shot, roll is Dex and Firearms difficulty 6. Damage is going to be Dexterity plus, the caliber of the handgun, which it actually does say somewhere here in this book. Where did I put it?
And I hate how they made the supernaturals or vampires so pathetically scared of the Second Inquisition. They put it, oh my god, we're going to die, but for some role players, I think they treat it like, oh, they're like normal people, which is they are. At the end of the day, the Second Inquisition isn't that scary. It's just, by lore standards, they're more annoying than actually endangering to vampires.
Okay. In 5th edition, though.
In 5th edition, they amped them the fuck up, yes.
Yeah.
It's not that they amped them the fuck up. It's more that they just nerfed the fuck out of vampires to the point that they're like, any human could kill one.
You brought the Zamichi down to their heels mechanically.
Look here, I already have a rage fit whenever I saw their power list for the Zamichi. I already had my rage with that.
It's so fucking stupid. You took away vicissitude, you took away demontation, you took away bloodlines.
Look, I understand protean and vicissitude, but it's basically saying protean is becoming more like a beast, while vicissitude is becoming more just flesh.
Yeah. Now, for the thing with, I'd like to talk about fucking Hunter for a minute, because we're not doing a video on Hunter Reckoning 5th edition. We're not doing that. We're not doing that because there's nothing to talk about.
You have to suffer.
So you two, you and Dan are both in my Hunter game, and Eden has seen the Hunter video. Colt, you were in it. Kyle, you were in it, and you remember the Imbued, just how fucking awesome the Imbued were. God himself has come down from heaven, has given you a divine mission and divine power.
Yeah, you may not use it much. Hold on. You may not use it much in our hunter game, but for the few times you did, I played Mei. My character, basically, she's a Chinese hunter from China.
Yes.
But the few times you use powers that related to domination, I could have just one-shotted him while they were just immune to that. That's a huge bonus.
Yeah, because you went up against a Ravnos who had chemistry and obfuscate, and you could negate both of those abilities. Both of those were no-selled.
I nearly shot my character. If he didn't roll those successes, he probably would have died.
Yeah. And the fun thing with that is that Hunter the Reckoning gets you taking life back into your own hands. Hunter 5th edition, it's just Hunter the Vigil 3rd edition, but you just throw the names of these factions around with no fucking understanding as to what they were. Like Order of the Rose. We went over the Order of the Rose in the New York book. Kyle, can you remind us who the Order of the Rose are again?
That I actually cannot. I completely fucking forgot. It's been a minute.
A group of people who are looking around for the abused and trafficked children of the 7th generation and freeing them from captivity.
That
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
Oh,
they
so
were.
the sound
I get it.
so the sound of freedom. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, and Hunter 5e, they're just another Catholic hunter group. That's all they
Yeah.
are.
Now
You
I
can,
will say
you can make the Mormons if you want.
the mechanic. Yeah, no, V5 edition took the mechanics from Chronicles but made it worse.
Exactly, because I have no fucking idea how combat's supposed to work in Hunter. Same thing with, you took the Orpheus group, and you took VengeNet, and you had no fucking idea what either of those were. The way you wrote them told me you never touched Orpheus.
And they made the Society of Saint Leopold out like a bunch of racist dipshits, which they weren't. If you go in lore, there are a bunch of hardcore Catholics about that says you on the name of this holy day, this name of the Lord. I fucking had a stroke when I said that. I'm about to
Yeah.
bust a cap in your ass.
Exactly.
You
They're
abomination.
avenging Saint Leopold, who died a violent death to the supernaturals. That's why they exist as a faction. And you didn't even touch the Children of Osiris, and you didn't even touch the Youngbloods. So
The Youngbloods
it's-
were unique. I won't lie. There were a footnote, but they are a unique footnote if you're in their area.
Children of Osiris, they're vampires though.
Exactly. You could have had that. You could have had some sort of fucking mechanic where, say, I'm playing a hunter game, and I want to drink vampire blood of a dead vampire and get a power buff from that. There's no rules for that. Because that's one of the biggest edges you can get. That's why the young bloods are so fucking freaky. Because they drink the blood of the vampires that they kill and then get powers from that. And that's
Incorrect.
why
They
whenever a
have
young
one
blood's chasing
singular-
after you, that's a pants-shitting moment.
Yeah, incorrect. They only have one singular vampire. They just keep dragging vampires to him so they can have him feed off of them. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They captured one vampire. Sorry. No, you're correct. They captured one vampire, have him turn people into vampires, drink that vampire's blood, then kill that fucker.
So, behold, you farm experience points with the young bloods. That's exactly what they do. And
They have
you
a
just,
Can't they just
No,
like put them in a freezer and stake them and then just kind of like feed off that? For a
Yeah,
while?
it's like the head of the spy in the Meet the Medic video where he opens the fridge. Kill me later.
And they still play it off like, yeah, no, these people are still a bunch of gangsters. They just like to fight vampires for territory. That's all. But they're still gangsters. They drag
Yeah,
people into vampires.
we could have had something related to them, given that you just threw the Orpheus group out there and didn't actually write in the Orpheus group. You just used their name. But it's
The
okay because the Brazilian government gets a vampire faction, gets a hunter faction.
Actually,
Yeah.
here actually, Push, I have a question. Are you ever gonna run an Orpheus game? Because that's actually a pretty good
Yes.
game.
Yes.
What is Orpheus
Yes,
anyway?
I actually don't know.
Oh,
The better, it's Wraith the Oblivion, but better.
Hold your tongue.
Yeah.
Hold your tongue.
Because Wraith, we've already talked about on this channel. Wraith, you have to know your group if you want to run Wraith with them, because that is a game
Okay.
that gets personal and it gets dark. Orpheus is a whole lot more approachable.
Yes,
Okay,
Orpheus
so-
is a lot more approachable, not better. Watch yourself.
So Dan, have you seen Denny Phantom?
No.
I
I
have.
have heard of Geist.
Fuck you.
So basically, what it is that a company with a bunch of money makes a ghost portal, and they start crossing over into the Shadowlands to better understand and study ghosts. That's what
Yeah.
Orpheus is.
Basically, sorry, because I am a fucking lore nerd and I can retain shit I actually love instead of
Mhm.
school because that's how I'm built.
Yep.
To explain, yes, you basically stated it correctly, but people who have near-death experience or can send their spiritual bodies outside their body, they basically said, here you go, we're paying you to go under near-death experience to go to the Shadowlands to explore and find out shit and secrets. Why the fuck are there no? And here's the thing: in Orpheus, there's no other supernaturals because in this spin-off version there isn't.
Really?
And yeah, no, there's only just ghosts. There's no vampires and no werewolves. There's just ghosts.
Yeah, it exists in its own continuity, but it could also tie in with Wraith the Oblivion if you do it right.
Yeah, and in this one, here's a unique thing: there is no ghost older than 500 years old. It's a giant mystery. People act like
Mhm.
ghosts are starting appearing. No, actually, in lore, something killed all the ghosts from 500 years ago, and nobody knows what.
This is Wraith the Oblivion if we had no Sharon protecting us. And
Yeah, as much as he was a fuck up, he was still a badass.
yeah, Sharon was a terrible person, but a fantastically written villain. I really like his character.
What do you
I
mean,
wouldn't
Charon?
want to fight.
No,
I would
Sharon.
not want to fight that.
Charon.
You don't pronounce it as the ch. It's an X syllable that you're saying.
Either way, he is still very cosmically powerful. Not one of the top 10 most powerful, but strong enough to
Thought it
throw
was
hands with an
Kara.
antediluvian.
Yeah. You're saying it the
Ar-
same way you
Aron-
say the fucking Undertale character's name. No.
A CH is supposed to be spelled with a ch, not a sh.
It's not a hard CH. It's less emphasis
Okay,
on the
hold on.
H.
Hold on, I'm about to look this up. The
He's
Greek
gonna
god
Google
of
translate this shit. Let's go.
Of the dead. You tell
Wouldn't
him
you
that
say
his
it,
mother's an
Karen?
H. Let's get
Sounds
this.
awfully close to Karen.
Yeah.
I
Like
always
those
thought it
annoying
was
women
supposed to be
with
Caron
cameras.
because it was full.
The French.
I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you'll play with the Oblivion.
There it goes.
I think it is supposed to be
Is this-
Caron. Yeah, I think you're right.
This is the biggest game in France next to Lucky Luke and Asterix and Obelhoom.
Caron.
Yeah, Caron is as big as the Smurfs. King, you got the explanation yet?
Yeah, hold on, I think I got it.
Is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be the key. It's supposed to be the Greek letter of the key.
Yeah,
which is
hold
seen
on,
as
I'm
an X.
clicking it now.
Yeah.
See if you guys can hear this from my side.
Or nothing.
No, me neither.
Nothing.
His Discord microphone settings ate the spelling.
It said Karen on my part, but that was just
Right.
by a translator, so I could be wrong, but I'm not Greek. Just
It's
ask the Greek
Karen.
person to clarify.
So it's
Ask the Greek-
Caron.
Yeah, I was
It's
right.
Karen.
Okay, cool.
It says Karen on this one, but ask a Greek person. They actually
So
can
there we
pronounce
go. We were both
The man from
wrong.
Greece. All right, and nobody wins.
it. Yeah,
Point-
yeah,
point
yeah,
is-
until we know
But
what Greek.
Caron, I like Caron as a character because despite him being an asshole, he actually did go down like a boss.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
fought Godzilla with a scythe.
Which saying a lot. He fought the biggest malefactor and isn't dead, which is saying a fucking lot.
Armed with
No,
a fucking sickle and a lantern and his boat. That's it. He just goes.
Yeah,
But-
for reference, if you want to play a malefactor from Wraith of Oblivion, because they gave you the stats to play one in 20th edition,
Yes.
which I love 20th edition, you get a bonus of 1,500 experience points to make your character.
Uh-huh.
And you
You heard
fought
that right, Kyle.
one.
And let's compare this to what this book is trying to be. It's not Werewolf the Apocalypse, it's Werewolf the Forsaken. But let me talk about Werewolf the Forsaken. Now,
Actually, a good setting.
yeah, because for me, I do not like Chronicles of Darkness. I do not like this game. I'm not going to make any videos on this channel based around Chronicles of Darkness.
Oh,
And
sad.
of all the games I've looked at, Werewolf the Forsaken is the most boring out of all these games to me. Because I can see why you would want to play Vampire the Requiem. I can see why you would want to play Geist of Sin Eaters. I can see why you would want to play Changing the Lost. I cannot see why you'd want to play Werewolf the Forsaken.
Hold
I
on,
can't see that.
there's Promethean though. That's a pretty good setting.
Do you have Promethean and you
No,
have Mage
fuck-
the Awakened?
I hate Promethean.
I have
have
one
no-
question. Would you consider covering Monty Cook's World of Darkness, which is just his remake of Chronicles of Darkness?
I'll have to look into it more, but
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
basically-
Stalker mixed with Chronicles of Darkness, except he redoes all of the splats around like an apocalyptic event in the middle of the US.
You remember
send me the
playing-
URL for that. I'll check into it.
So-
Sorry,
But-
Werewolf.
I have that book. It's like if you take the setting and all the creatures from World of Darkness or just the Darkness, but use the system from Pathfinder.
There we go. The D20 system. If
Yeah.
the reason I bring up Werewolf the Forsaken is that what they were going for was the Umbra. The Umbra was Forsaken's thing. Where going into it and dealing with spirits was your shtick. Now, every tribe in Forsaken felt the exact damn same to me when I read this book. But I could see how you could make a story from it, considering that they didn't build up the worm so much as the individual dangerous spirits within the Umbra, like the Unseen, who was a creature that you could not comprehend the form of, that was very talented at hunting werewolves, and you could have an entire plot based around that. I can't see how you could build anything around 5th edition, because the worm isn't scary, and the Umbra isn't the main drive. So, Werewolf the Forsaken, as much as I do not like Forsaken, I would be more excited to play Forsaken than I would 5th edition.
'Cause, like,
you
there's
nailed it.
also there's
You hit
also
the
there's also more the idea that that they've taken away the whole Captain Planet like saving the Earth thing from Forsaken,
Yeah, I kind of
and
hate
it's
that.
and it's basically kind of more like
Like
Make
Avatar:
kind of
Last
more.
Airbender.
It's more like trying to survive. It's more like trying to survive from like the uh, th- the bigger fish that are out to actually get you that are hunting for you.
Jumanji, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
basically.
way they handle no, you hit the nail on the head because the way they made fifth edition, they made it so like you're never gonna actually fight the problem, you're going to fight the consequences, which is tainted humans. Because at the end of the day, Fomori and all these creatures are just a consequence of what happened. Weaver.
Yeah.
This is why I don't see any games for this pop up on Roll20. It's because you say, "Oh, I'm playing fifth edition. I want to play fifth edition," and then you get fifth edition in your hands and you think, "What am I supposed to do with this?"
What's funny because I see them pop up on YouTube everywhere.
Really?
You see them pop
Yeah,
up on YouTube.
And to be
Yeah,
honest,
I see a lot of
you got-
fifth edition Werewolf pop up everywhere on YouTube.
You get the people
No.
doing that. It's because that game was white hot popular at the time. You start the game and now you're fucking stuck playing it.
most games are over a year old on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they played
I'm
it
looking at
once
this. I
because
made a
it came
joke
out a
that-
year ago, and now they're not playing
Are
it
they-
anymore.
Are they
And that made a-
in-person groups or online?
In person.
Okay, so that
And it-
explains it.
And they all have like different web cameras on them, so it's like a Zoom call game that they're playing.
Now I would say
Is that-
that some of the YouTubers I respect love fifth edition, and I won't be a dick about it and scream they are wrong. My opinion of them has changed. Now, because I want to be the devil's advocate, and I believe both sides deserve to be heard. This is why I had to watch Velma. I'm so sorry, my brain. I'm so sorry.
Man,
But what they told me, their opinions of it is, besides all the lore and that, they obviously don't care about the lore. If you don't care about the lore, fifth edition isn't that bad. Sure, the word salad is, but this is White Wolf. Their fucking word salad is always bad across all the books.
Because it took me a little while, took me a few attempts at reading the Zamichi book before I finally understood the fucking story. That was a bad lore mess up on my part, and I did make a video retracting a statement in it in regards to Lugosh.
yeah.
Yes, but the reason I hear they like it so much is because it's simpler and streamlined, which is literally the really only good thing. And they like how the tribes were done, specifically how their red talons are so much more nicer. Which
That kind of defeats the purpose of the Red Talons. You said it yourself.
I want to throw hands with them. I want to throw absolute hands with them people.
So they don't want to play monsters, then play D&D. Fucking
Yeah, you should be playing another game. It sounds like the people that are playing 5th edition don't like World of Darkness, have never liked World of Darkness, and are too afraid to get into World of Darkness. There is a better game that you should be playing instead. Instead, you're wasting your time with
Now, the
5th
main
edition.
reason I'm still respecting them is because they are avid Chantings fans and they can actually fucking do that work correctly. That's my only
Yes.
reason I
Okay,
respect
there you go. Look, if they're already playing Changeling, they're already in their lane. World of Darkness 5th edition is not going to change their opinion of Werewolf. Matter of fact, it's going to make it worse. Like, yeah, it's more streamlined, but it doesn't offer any new challenges that they wouldn't already get and be able to solve better in Changeling.
Given that Changeling, the way you probably are playing that game is that you're probably playing as Fairly Odd Parents the game. That's probably how you're playing it. You're not like going out and finding the Fomori. You're not going out into ancient times or anything. You're not on a treasure hunt or anything. You're just
but for
playing
my
it as the nice game.
From a few games I've seen people play Changing, if you're playing the game, you have to tell the player characters, all right, here's your special powers. Now here's the realm. I'm going to go over this 3 times so you know exactly what you're getting. Because you're going to sit there butthurt when you say, but hold on, I thought this could work for that. We have to go over this realm shit 3 times.
Because you have these ludicrous powers, but the realm system is put in that game so where you're not overpowered. Because if you use gimmicks and you just use gimmicks right out the gate on everything, then behold, you are the strongest creature in all darkness.
You are basically a mage, but with actually less consequences, which is fucking scary.
You don't suffer paradox.
Mm.
Exactly.
They get banality, but it doesn't hurt. You can quickly get rid of banality if it's not a permanent dot. So you're basically playing mage, but with lesser consequences. You are basically mage's little brother to mom.
Yes.
Right, and
I could do no wrong.
yeah, the reason why I'm saying that World of Darkness is fucking dead as an intellectual property again is because nobody's gonna fucking play this. Nobody's gonna keep playing this. You're gonna just touch it one time, and then you're done with it, and then Paradox is never going to make another one of these. They made the one book for Hunter the Reckoning and then fucking abandoned that because they knew that nobody gave a shit about it.
So, in the sense of World of Darkness as an intellectual property, that ship has sailed. That's dead and buried. However, everything that has existed up until now is still there. And while it does take a bit to get a hold of, once you're in it, you're in it. Like we are.
Mhm.
Like the only reason that we started down this path that we were on is because Johnny came to me and he's like, bro, I'm getting sick of 5e. We need to play something else. And I'm like, okay. He's like, Vampire the Masquerade? I'm like, I've heard of it. We ran it. We ran it with our usual D&D group. Everybody loved it. We had a hook in us, and then we went on to Werewolf, and then John dove into the lore head first, as he does. And the more he knew, the more he was able to put in the game, and the more we were able to get captivated with all that happened in the game, and the more we all enjoyed it. It kept snowballing until the point in which we all came together, and 5th edition came out, and 5th edition sucked balls, and we said, you know what? We're going to do something about it. We wrote Werewolf 3.5, the core rulebook, and the player's guide. And now we got other people in our community creating their own Banes, creating their own fetishes, creating their own, location books.
And this is an open bounty to everybody. I want to see a homebrew scene for World of Darkness blow up. We've got Eden, who's in this call with us right now, making something for Breeder Banes. We've got JG120 in the server with us, making a book for Minnesota. We've got Western Howler, who's been sending me ideas for Mockery Breeds and Fomori. I want this to be a hub of homebrew content. I want to see World of Darkness in the hands of the fans. I know you've got stories to tell. I know you've got good ideas that could never fly in a commercial product. I want to see that get made. Please, if you have got something, this is an open bounty. I want to see it. I want to see what you do. Don't be afraid of your ideas. Don't be afraid about, nobody's going to see this. There is, Kyle, you're not much of a musical kind of guy, but there is one lesson I took away from one that was called Title of Show.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very postmodern show, but it had a very good in song to it, where it was, I'd rather be the favorite thing of 9 people than be seen by 900 people and nobody cares about me. If one person is your biggest fan, that's what should matter to you. As long as one person sees it and really likes it, that's all I'm concerned about. I don't want this to be a big mainstream channel. I don't want to have thousands of viewers. I would rather have a close-knit community of people that really care about what we do, and I care about what they've got to say. That's what I want.
I feel that I don't care about it. I just want to be... Some people just like... To me, I just want to tell my story. I don't care if it's like... I just want... As long as one person just actually gets it. That's all worth it for me,
Yeah, King, what were you saying earlier?
This made me think. Because I've been thinking about doing this. You know Ghost Hunter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the anime with the really fucked voice acting? Or was that Ghost Stories?
That's Ghost Stories.
Oh, sorry, my
Ghost
fault.
Stories.
I'm sorry.
Are you talking about the ghost hunters that that go around and actually hunt ghosts in real life? That reality show? Oh my god, what was that? What was that? It sounds like
No.
Because fucking Ghost Stories was fucking awesome, right? It was so funny.
Okay, so King, what was it?
The dubbed version. Sorry, you made me laugh too hard. Anyway, Ghost Hunter is basically a supplement book. It's modern. It's actually made in the 2020s. It was made for Hunter Hunted. You know the supplement book for playing a human. You want to fight supernaturals, and basically you want to go to a character grinder.
Yes.
If the dude's actually realistic. But it's basically you're a hunter in modern day, and you're trying to fight cryptids.
Mm-hmm. Now that could play out to something well, because I've seen a lot of different fun ways this can play out.
And in one of the
Mhm.
and in the monster section, it has a bunch of unique creatures, such as basically an actual griffin. There was a
Think
jack
about this.
a jackalope, basically all kinds of folklore and cryptid creatures. And I'm thinking in my head, I want to make a splat book about monsters, but not the mainstream monsters.
Hmm.
And basically, have you basically make characters from ghost hunters and go across America because let's be fucking honest here. Even though how colonized America is, it's still fucking feral.
Yes.
And we
Like,
still have oceans that we haven't fully explored.
quite literally, have you seen that picture or the video where it's like European forests versus American forests?
Yes.
And like the European forests, they're all like whimsical and sunny little paths and little, gnomes waddling through the foliage and stuff with the little pan flute playing in the background. And then you go to American and just black and white trail cams of just freaky looking tribal creatures shambling through the woods while black metal's playing.
To be honest, that sounds like a hunter game I would rate. You're basically a bunch of ghost hunters, and you have to go across the world. It even comes with unique powers. Actually, it even comes with a power set called Black Box, where you hack into the actual shroud and you fight ghosts through hacking into the shroud.
Oh, that's cool. I'd play
There you
that.
go. There you go. Because we have some ideas. Because I'm looking at what JG's writing with Minnesota, and I'm genuinely considering using that for a game, running a game with that.
I think it'd be spectacular.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
hold
he's
on.
got fantastic ideas. He needs the encouragement. I love what he's doing.
Yeah, after your giant werewolf boners, take a look at the more lesser known good books. They're actually rather fun.
Mm-hmm.
After your werewolf boner comp, because that werewolf boner's been going strong.
Look. We started the channel on Werewolf, and we're trying to diversify. And if you've got suggestions, we're open.
Look, all I can say is after your werewolf thing, either do an Orpheus book or a Ghost Hunters, because that's pretty good.
I don't know what
So
I would
think
do myself, but
Because I've been wanting to take a crack at Wraith for a while.
No Wraith. If you guys don't feel comfortable, true Orpheus.
Please do Wraith or Changeling, any of those.
You can do
I
the
would
bat-
hop on board because I never played it and I want to play it
Yeah,
and I need to know more of the lore.
And Fox in our Friday game does not want to touch Changeling because he's had it too closely associated with being the furry roleplay game.
I'm gonna fight someone if you call my fucking baby a furry game. What more?
It's only a furry game if you play a puka. Jeez.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear a furry game where werewolf exists. I don't
I'm-
want to hear it.
Look, I am excited to play Elmer the Keebler Elf as a boggin living in a tree making cookies.
Hello, would you like a
cookie?
Oh,
Mine's
that's the perfect boggin.
Yes,
There
hello.
we
My name
go.
is Elmer. I make the cookies.
I imagine
you-
has anyone ever seen that cartoon? I think it's called David the Gnome.
Yes.
I vaguely
That is
remember that.
That sounds like a boggin to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is a boggin.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm posting this.
Yeah.
I'm posting a link to it. Did I just say Made RPG? Oh God.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, there we go.
Oh, my
Also,
God.
yeah, and
Yeah.
other games. I posted a link to the World of Darkness Ghost Hunters. It's a whole.
There it is. There it is. All right, wonderful. We'll get that crack in a minute. And for everybody saying, "Oh, we're waiting for Paradox to make a Mage 5th edition or a Wraith 5th edition," you know they're never going to do that shit.
No,
You know they're
waiting
never
for
going to do it.
We are not waiting for Paradox at all.
no.
No, it's given how crappy ass your release schedule is.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to go all in on kids on bikes.
Hold on. They're the ones who own Kids on Bike. They're the ones who own it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
funny.
I wonder why
Kids
they-
on kids on bikes. So like
Yeah, kids.
Stranger Things or like
Yeah. You notice
YouTube.
that they're fucking obsessed with Stranger Things. We made Deviant the Renegade. It's Stranger
Stranger
Things. We made
Things,
Kids on Bikes. It's
Goonies, and
Stranger Things.
E.T.
We made
Hold on.
Werewolf 5th edition. It's Stranger Things. You watched one episode of Stranger Things and you just can't stop fucking talking about it.
Hold on now. as much as Kids on Bikes were and Kids in Space or Kids with Brooms, they're good systems, but they feel skeleton.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know how to make a game. You
They need
know,
more
you can
meat.
write a book. Hey, congratulations! Anybody can do that. I proved it with this fucking channel.
Yeah.
Hey, can we do a review of that RPG? It's like the sword fighting lesbians.
Hold on, what? See, now you have my attention. What
Hold on,
is
wait,
this
wait,
book
wait.
called, Danston?
Oh,
They made a Thirsty Sword Lesbians. That's what it's called.
Is that what it's called? Thirsty
Yes.
sword lesbians.
Oh, have you
Yes.
not heard about this book? It was famous for for all last year. Have you
No,
not
I
heard
do
about it?
recall
it
a
was a
novel
fucking
known
porn
as The
game.
Sword That Tears Off a Man's Clothes.
Oh my god!
There's also
It is
There's
called
also
Thirsty
a-
Sword Lesbians.
see,
It's
see
an
what else? There's
RPG book.
also
It-
what I just clicked on.
don't look it up because I won't be there to hear your reaction to it.
See, son of a bitch! The 4chan post that posted got taken down.
Well, I think before
Well,
you do Thirsty Sword Lesbians, you do have to take a look at Fatal System first.
No,
You gotta go and-
no. We have
gotta play the sex game.
standards here. You see.
Are you sure?
Okay.
Are you sure about that game?
Play the sex game.
I mean, when your character sheet has a stat called anal circumference.
There we go. See,
I may be morally,
there we go.
I may be morally debased, but I will not play a fucking game about actually having sex with you people. Fuck
There
off.
we go.
Here's the thing.
See, Johnny's made that his prerogative, his ends of the road.
So
it's alpha behavior to have sex. That's what it is.
Oh,
So
Okay.
I heard that there's actually a second edition of Fatal, and it's actually good.
there is a second edition. I just haven't touched it because I have standards.
You want to go to the Fatal LARP?
No.
No.
Oh, so,
You guys heard about DC-20?
DC-20?
do I
Yes,
do?
we've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my opinion about DC-20, because I'm asking for your opinions. I've heard people talk about, how you can do all these things and all this power with your characters. How do the monsters act? Because
We've
that's
yet to get really fleshed out rules on that because the book is still being written.
Yeah, because the whole time, and I've seen the creators talk about it. He says how powerful you are, how strong you are, how many cool things you can do. But the monsters, though, that's the second important thing. It doesn't. You can feel powerful, but if your monster does one attack, it feels lackluster.
Yeah, it's in a bit of a limbo state because it's a game that's either going to be really really hard or really really easy. Depending on how you write that.
Monsters feel lackluster so far, in my opinion, and it's also fixed the whole entire bullshit of you can just take infinite hits and get back up. No. If you're like one hit point and the monster crits you, there's a high chance you're just insta dead.
Yeah, you want to play Exalted instead?
No. Hold on, what Exalted are you suggesting? Which Exalted?
Second edition.
Third edition, you bitch.
Yes, second edition where they wrote the series into the fucking ground.
Third edition where they actually try to save it and the rules actually fucking digestible.
King, he's fucking with you right now. He's just fucking with you.
See, I love it. You got the dream team of Justin Chile, Robert Hatch, and Stephen Wyack, and you brought out the worst in all three of them for that book.
You know what? I need to cleanse my palate. I'm just gonna look up Ghost Hunters so I can actually feel better about myself.
There you go.
There we go.
So the moral of this episode tonight is fuck you, Paradox. We'll
Fuck
do it
this game.
ourselves.
Hold on, you actually wait. This is being recorded.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
man, I should be cursing a lot more then.
All right. We're going for next episode. We're going to try to take another crack at Changeling. We're going to try doing this again.
Yeah, we said we weren't going to do that, but we figured we'll give it another try.
One?
Yeah.
It's you're doing the red cap one, correct?
Yes.
Red Caps and Slua.
Okay, tell me, because I am a major fan of red caps. You better invite me. You better actually invite me to that because I want to be here to talk about my favorite.
That
character.
is
Red
next
Caps.
Sunday.
Yep. I will be
Alright.
Danny Grand Slam. He will be Grimscythe Grimjow.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
just
play
tell
bass.
me which part of the red cap book, and I because of my fucking situation and me hating myself, I'm not in college at the moment, so I have all day.
Yeah. Go ahead and talk about their trappings and all the different stuff they have.
Yes.
I can talk
like-
about one power by myself, but it feels a little bit spoily. But basically, it's a folklore thing. If you can take the teeth of a red cap and you can break it under a stone under a full moon, they just instantly die.
Oh, is that
Behold.
so? That's fucked.
Yeah, but here's the
Alright.
thing: you have to take the teeth from the red cap first.
Oh,
Yeah.
good fucking luck.
Yeah. Go ahead, stick your hand in the mouth of this Venus flytrap. It'll work out just fine.
I did that once
Yeah,
when I was
and-
drunk. I wholeheartedly regret it. I couldn't play guitar
Yes.
for a week.
And it's very much hinted at the teeth of a red cap is super really hard to break.
Yes.
Just super hard to knock that shit loose.
So
Gonna need a
I have a
troll on
question:
that.
if fairies are weak to iron, how are they wearing iron boots and have iron teeth?
No, like a
That's
little slump of iron. Like
Yeah, it has to be
rebar.
iron you just pulled up out of the ground.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go. The part I actually like about the Ghost Hunter, the Numias, Mortal Necromancy, the Whistle, Black Hat. Here we go, Black Hat.
Mhm.
You can hack into you hack into the Shroud.
Uh-huh. There
And
you go.
oh,
okay,
The Psychers.
there's Starlight, Shadow, and the Path to do with Divination. Where's the one where you can raise zombies?
Sounds like Stranger Things to me.
Let's see.
I mean,
It
Russian-
feels like
Russians- Russian scientists going into like the upside down world, and trying to harness the powers of
We
the
live
beast
in a
inside
world
them.
where Stranger Things has ruined everything.
I'll be honest, if you guys don't run Ghost Hunters, probably next year or maybe later this year, I will run a one shot. That's probably gonna last like 1 to 5 episodes where you guys have to
Uh-huh.
run away from something pissed off.
I could do that.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I
Well,
think
I
that
gotta
about tears it
I
for
gotta
this
get
episode.
going.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
wrap.
gonna head out.
That's
Yeah,
a wrap
see.
anyway.
All right.
See you later, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Right. GN.
Good night.
Don't forget your condoms.